TikTok time to rock.
Rock.
Good evening, good
Evening,
morning,
morning,
good afternoon to
afternoon,
everybody who's
today.
watching from all over
Over.
the planet and who isn't interrupting me right now.
What's up, man?
Oh, you think that's funny? Think that's funny, AP? Huh?
It's literally the funniest thing ever, man.
Oh, man.
What?
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 No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I keep forgetting to. This thing's been doing all kinds of weird things audio-wise ever since I started plugging other stuff in. Anyway, I think it's okay. Check. Hey, check, yo. Hey,
But
guys.
not in
We're going to check out some of this debate with Sneako. I've listened to most of it. So this guy is Nick. Are you familiar with this guy, man? Nick
Nick
Matau?
Matau. I don't know much about him. I mean, I noticed at some point he had a debate or discussion with somebody else. I forgot who it was, and I thought that he was following me. I followed him back, and I said, "Hey, man, nice job." And he was like, "Thanks, bro." That's all I know about him. And then I saw him now pop up with Sneako.
He seems to really know his stuff and to study a lot and to
And Al-Uzza.
remember the stuff and use this stuff that he studies. Yep, but I was not familiar with him. But I mean, Sneako's just bringing stuff up left and right, and this guy's just completely crushing poor Sneako. Now, you may think, well, it's like crushing a bug or something like that intellectually, but Sneako brings up all his usual tried and tested talking points on all these issues and so on. And turns out Sneako very frequently has no clue what he's talking about. Very interesting stuff. Hey, do you know what this is about? Saw your
You just
interview
called
with. Huh?
you just called Sneako a bug, by which you're trying to say that all black people are bugs.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's called an analogy because I didn't realize until I said, "Hey, this guy crushed Sneako. He must be really smart." And I was thinking, no, that wouldn't mean that. The guy is really smart, but crushing Sneako would not necessarily be the proof that someone is super intelligent.
I see.
It's
Makes sense.
like if someone crushed a bug, you wouldn't say, "Oh, this means he's a great MMA fighter."
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, you kind of
so
explained yourself. You kind of saved it. That's good. Nothing.
hey, what is this? Saw your interview with Avery today. Good stuff. I didn't do an interview with you. Did you do an interview with Avery?
No.
Whose interview are
Might
you
be.
talking about?
That might be just from a while ago, and they're just talking present because they saw it today.
What, an interview with you?
No, with you probably.
I don't
Oh.
remember.
I don't remember anything.
Come on, man, answer the question. What are you talking about? Whose interview? There's two people on your screen right now.
If you don't answer the question, you will be kicked out.
Oh, this guy's trying to get banned. This guy's trying to get banned.
Why do
He
you just
said
randomly ban people who say
he's talking
specific?
about Avery's interview with Mike Winger. And he's trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny, not realizing, man, you better catch me in a good mood because I'll just block.
That's pretty good.
People don't even realize. People don't even realize they're blocked, and then they'll be trying to type a comment and stuff like this, and they're like, oh, why won't my comment go through? There's no one seeing my comment. What's going on here? Yeah, because you've been blocked. You've been blocked.
That's a pretty good one, though.
All right, so we're going to check out. We'll watch some at the beginning, until we decide to move on, and then we're going to check out some different sections of this debate. There's some of this has been shared as clips, which I saw one or two of the clips, and then we talked about it a little bit yesterday, and that made me go through most of it today. And so yeah, there's a couple. I mean, the whole thing's interesting as far as like regular Groper talking points going up against someone who has kind of studied a lot of the issues. And but anyway, we're gonna check out some of this at the beginning. Then we want to fast forward a little bit till they start talking about Aisha and Bukhari and stuff, and then we'll look at a couple other sections, and then see Sneako rage quit as soon as the guy pulls out the Quran. Interesting to see someone rage quit
but not in
when
a good
someone
sense.
when someone starts reading their book. Let's take these first couple super chats. We'll jump into the debate. The Turkish dilemma. If David Wood is on time, AP is late. If David Wood is late, AP is late. Either way, AP is late. Therefore, AP is late. That is good.
I specifically joined this live stream late because I knew that it's David's live stream, and David is always late, so therefore I don't have to be. I don't have to worry to be on time. Yeah.
Was I or was I not sitting here long before we started, posting a series of Z's and then sleeping emojis?
Yes. However, had I been on time, would we have gone live on time?
No, we'd have still been about 6 minutes late, which is what we were.
See?
So, yeah. But had I not sent you those texts with all the Z's and then the sleep emojis, you still wouldn't be on right now.
That's true.
I'd still be waiting. So
Yes.
anyway, this is a good Turkish dilemma here. We have Finding Nino. Been watching your streams for a couple of months. What's the deal with Mike Winger? Yeah, got a good point there. What's the deal with that dude? Why do you not like him? Why would anyone like him? And why do people make Mike Winger jokes? Why would people not make Mike Winger jokes? It's like, why would we not make fun of Muhammad? Is it because you look similar? No. What's the story? Well, I have, after many years of research, I have identified the worst human being on the planet. And then in response, people are like,
Oh, but you have glasses and he has glasses. So you're basically the same person.
they're not late. Allah has only made it appear so.
Yes. You see.
What's later than late? Turkish late.
Yeah.
Hey guys, AP, could you share the apps you use to create the Final Prophet, please? I have some Islam parody ideas I'd love to make. God bless you both. I would suggest if you want to ask AP any questions along those lines, you contact him directly instead of blurting out all his secrets on how he creates and composes these masterpieces, and then everyone starts using them.
There's no secret about it. The way I produced, the way I created the Final Prophet was literally the following.
I muted you. All right, you can share your secrets. It's up to you, man.
I thought about the song very often, The Final Countdown, and I thought, sounds like a perfect song to make a parody out of, like The Final Prophet, because The Final Prophet is a very prominent thing in Islam. So all I did one day was I started writing a few things down as a parody. Then later used AI to refine those things a little bit. Then refined those myself a little bit. Then later on took a sample of the song and an instrumental version of the song. Then sang over it with my own voice with all the new lyrics. Then put it all in the online music generator platform Suno. And then from my own recording over the music, created a cover version, then removed the background music from there and added the original instrumental music to it, and then I published it. That's all I did.
Someone just asked about apps, man. They didn't say, hey, give us a 4-hour dissertation and tutorial on how to make one.
I want to do that. If you had you asked me, hey, how are you doing, I would have explained to you exactly how I am doing and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So.
Is Sneako about to have another bad weeko? Sneako's going to have endless bad weekos as long as he continues clinging to all the absolute nonsense he's clinging to. Why are y'all so early? Monday's tomorrow, guys. Yep. Yeah, we're early for tomorrow's stream, ladies and gentlemen. David, you have an echo. Oh, hey, AP, it's you. I don't have an echo. I have 0 echoes.
I don't have an echo.
Let's see. Sneako has been Having a lot of bad weekos. That's true. I told you it's going to be endless. AP, you agree that Iran situation tearing apart Islam?
In a way, yes, very, very much.
There you have it. Referring to my video, it's got almost 200,000 views, and I posted it at like 2 or 3 in the morning or something, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's kind of a hint to you if you are planning on putting out any videos. Even after not posting in a while, people will watch videos. Oops. Hey, Dizzle, some new developments about Sharia, Sydney. The police need the Islamic Council's permission to let us come evangelize. Yeah, you mentioned that the other day. That's pretty creepy, evil, sick stuff.
You're sick.
You might want to start taking that stuff to court, man, because that's wild. The Power Duo's back. I missed your last stream yesterday because I was surrounded by Muslim dawah. Lol, that was an experience. Yep, Apostate of Allah. Sarah went with a group to check out some dawah booths.
Nice.
Good times, good times. Missed you, AP. Glad to see you back and fill some time at work with your streams. You're all right too, I guess, David. That's what they say about me. He's kind of all right.
Debatable.
AP's interview with Andrew Gold was excellent. Dude, you're supposed to say AP's interview with Andrew Gold was gold. You lost the opportunity.
AP's interview with Andrew was gold.
Yep. You guys have got to review Mary Harb's stream with Thad on Momo's Micro. It all makes sense. No, I'm going to have Mary on to discuss these issues. She's done a lot of research and done some live streams on 2 important topics that she's going to be joining me for at some point. But one, she makes a pretty solid case that Muhammad's mother was a woman of the night, let's say. So there's that. And she has a case that Muhammad had a micro PP. And so we all heard this. We all heard this from Andrew Wilson when Muslims were saying, but, he didn't injure Aisha. He didn't harm her. And Andrew Wilson did the math and concluded that Muhammad's PP must have been under 2 inches, so about 1.8 inches he estimated to not harm a girl that young. Anyway, but Mary Harp actually said that this actually ties a bunch of interesting details from the Muslim sources together. Why Muhammad had to squat to pee and why he would accidentally, cover him. Why he would be covered in semen and all this stuff. So anyway, we'll be checking that out. Jai looks different today. Yeah, it looks weird and Turkish. Fellas, please give a shout out for the live stream about Taqiyya by Raymond Ibrahim. Super good. Yeah, one of my sons is reading one of Raymond Ibrahim's books right now, and we'll check that out. Maybe we haven't talked to Raymond Ibrahim in a while. Maybe we need to get him on with it. Good point. I can't stay away from addiction, even though I love Jesus. I hope I get delivered soon. Yeah, find a group. Find a group of people who are dealing with a similar addiction. That always helps. Always helps. That's a super sticker. Thank you for that. The echo was in the beginning. It was AP. You didn't get me a joke. Quit making jokes. These are serious matters. You tell a person live streaming, hey, there's an echo. Oh, but I've got this awesome joke. I'm the Eddie Murphy. I'm the Dave Chappelle of the super chats. Well,
dude,
what?
Ida is one of the best people watching this live stream. You don't make jokes about Ida.
I didn't make a joke about Ida. Talking about this is Hu Jintao. I am speaking of. Yeah, that was one I already took down. I'm speaking to folks from Iran. They are praying for the regime to fall, whereas Muslims in UK are crying about American oppression of Iranians. That's the general pattern you see. My joke, that autocorrect. And
so that needs to be pointed out, and I think more and more Americans should be aware of it, considering that is basically right now America's initiative to go into or to take action against the Islamic regime in Iran. According to every single available statistic, The vast majority of Iranians hate the Islamic regime. They hate the Islamic government. Nobody wants them. The population itself is being taken hostage and oppressed by that Islamic regime. Over 80% to 85% want them gone. Nobody supports them. So when Muslims around the world, from Pakistan or the UK or somewhere else, which are two Muslim countries as an example, when they come out and start talking about, oh, America and Israel are attacking a Muslim country and oppressing Iranian Muslims. No, they're not. They're not. The Iranian population doesn't see it that way. And America and Israel are not attacking the Iranian population. They're attacking the Islamic regime that is taking the Iranian population hostage. The Iranian population has been shouting and screaming for help for so long. Last time they were massacred, tens of thousands of them were brutally massacred because they protested. So all Americans should also, especially Americans, should definitely know this, that the whole narrative that we are, as America, going and oppressing some Muslim country and all that, that's complete nonsense. Iranians thank Americans.
As they should. The Zut clip on Alex Stein is on the video titled Tommy Robinson Tortures Pierce Morgan at the 8 minutes marks. Yeah, I asked where that was and I could not find it, but someone shared it. So we're good now. And I just looked it up when I saw the comment. But yeah, I saw the video, so that's all good. 200,000 views. Excellent work. D Wood hope it takes off. Oh, I'm fine with 200,000 views in under a day. It's pretty good for someone who hasn't been posting consistently.
Wait, Tommy Robinson tortures who?
Tommy Robinson tortures Pierce Morgan. So that's on YouTube. That's on YouTube. And he said around the 8 minute mark, that's when apparently the guy brings up the Zut. That's
the funny thing is, I thought you said tortures. But apparently it's torches. So.
Yeah. He does that too. Tortures and torches.
I would have been more interested in seeing Tommy Robinson torture somebody. So.
That would be interesting. Yeah, especially if it's Pierce Morgan.
Yeah.
But that'd be kind of messed up. He'd probably get in trouble over that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out your boy Sneako talking to Nick Matau. Is it Matau?
Yes.
Nick Matau, who seems to study his stuff. Let's check it out.
There is nothing more stupid than a goy sitting here defending a state that allowed Epstein.
You're right. I should defend Muslims.
To
You're
rape
right.
children. No, no. Don't deflect now. Don't deflect now.
Oh, the guy that deflected to Epstein doesn't want to deflect to his pedophile prophet. Wow. Call me. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. He deflected to Epstein when nobody brought up Epstein. But the second I brought up Islam, he's like, no. Please don't deflect.
We can talk about that.
Muhammad's Aisha was 4 to 5 years younger. 4 to 5 years younger than Epstein's youngest victim. And they're both equally disgusting.
That is a point that AP has brought up billions of times, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Billions of times.
Billions.
And
billions.
It's a recurring pattern that occurs throughout this discussion, but it's a pattern we've also seen over and over and over again. Anytime anything with any Jew or anything with Israel is on the table, Sneako, the groper, they'll all hold everyone to a certain standard. But then once you try to apply that standard anywhere else, what are you doing, man? I don't get it. Why would you say this? Weird stuff. Interesting. But let's check this out.
Are you not going to click this link? You wanted this link before. I couldn't source it, and I'm sourcing it.
Let me read it real quick. Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. Oh, it says he threatened Mossad. He would expose all he had done for them to the Kremlin. To the Kremlin, that's interesting. Wait, are you going to ignore that part? And to the corridors of power throughout Europe. Oh, it's not just Russia, also Europe.
So this is Ghislaine. How do you pronounce her name, man? Ghislaine? Or is it Ghislaine?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Ghislaine. We're going to call her Ghislaine, ladies and gentlemen. That's Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Sneako brings up this guy worked for Mossad because there's a message somewhere where Epstein apparently said that they threatened to kill him or they killed him or something like that for going against them or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, And so Sneako used this to show, okay, this guy worked for Mossad and his daughter is with Epstein, therefore that's the connection to Mossad and so on. And Nick eventually points out all that the dude had completely rebelled and gone against Mossad long before any connections with Epstein. So this guy was actually working for Russians and stuff against Mossad, and somehow this guy is, Epstein's connection to Mossad and so on. Anyway, so this guy but this guy was just looking it up as Sneako was saying it, and it's amazing. If that's what you find, as soon as Sneako says something, it's like, why doesn't Sneako bring this up? And what's crazy is, I think that's the thing that Sneako told him to read. Read this, and he's like, what? It says the Kremlin. What are you talking about? This goes against you. Crazy stuff. But some people see what they want to see. Let's see.
Powers. Okay, interesting. Giving powers to Russia and Europe. This is really debunking you.
Right.
Let's keep going.
What is the subject line?
They tolerated his excess. Hold on, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. This is great.
We've started with 1948. I'm
By the way, isn't that funny? He's like, just read the subject line. He's like, I'm reading the whole thing. This destroys you. Just read this. Just read the subject. Just read the subject line. Don't read everything that's actually in it.
You only read the title.
Yeah, just the title, man. Just the title.
very glad we started.
Why did we start with 48? When did the war start? You said 48?
Yes.
In 1936, when they targeted and slaughtered 510 Jews during the Third Jaffa riots. What was the reason for that if it didn't start till 48, Sneako?
We're talking about this land, these people.
It was literally, I'm talking about the exact same land.
What up?
How are you?
I'm good. So you got the...
Okay, so that was all preview, but here's where things start. We got Sneako and Nick.
3 flags up.
Yeah. America, Israel, and Iran.
How come?
Who I support, served the military for about 12 years in the American military, and I'm not Jewish, but I support Israel. I'm not Iranian. I support Iran.
Is that a Palestine necklace?
It's an Israeli necklace.
Oh yeah, it's a little Israel necklace.
Okay.
It has the Golan Heights, right? You don't think?
No, that's interesting. So this guy's U.S. and was military, but he also has an Iran flag and an Israel flag, and he says it's because he supports Israel and supports Iran. Guess which one Sneako's probably going to object to here.
What? Israel? What's wrong with you?
Palestine controls the Golan Heights.
Oh, well, let me ask you, why do you support Israel if you're not Jewish?
You don't have to be what? Are you Palestinian?
You catch that, guys? Why do you support Israel if you're not Jewish? Well, are you Palestinian? You support Palestinians, right? Are you Palestinian? He does that pretty frequently, just flips whatever Sneako's saying right back on him, and Sneako just looks clueless every time, like, wow, I never thought of that. Let me think of something to say, though.
It's a simple question.
Right, I'm answering by asking you, are you Palestinian?
No.
Do you support Palestine?
I want them to be freed.
Okay, so you support them. Wow, you just answered your own question. Good job.
Good job. Dude, it's I mean, they get to where it's more talking over each other and stuff as they go along, but basically the entire discussion is just like this.
Wow, man.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question.
It's the
I'm
same
answering
exact
why,
answer.
because they should be freed. No. I support Palestine because they're being genocided and they need to be freed from this genocide. And they are predominantly Muslim brothers and they are good people.
Right.
Now, right there when he said, I support them because they're being genocided. That's actually what Nick tries to discuss, and they do periodically, basically the entire time. He's like, what do you mean by genocide? And show how your definition is correct and that it applies in this situation. And then it's mostly most of the 2-hour debate is Sneako deflecting from answering that. It's like endless deflections and so on. But they do discuss it a little bit.
And you
So
didn't.
I gave you clear evidences. I gave you clear examples why I support Palestine. Why do you support Israel?
Right. So that's not what you originally asked. That's your new question. Your original question is, why do I do it if I'm not Jewish? So if your new question is, why do I support Israel, period, right? My answer is that I think they should be freed from terrorism and terroristic state and IRGC proxy group. Doesn't mean I particularly dislike any
Why?
Arabs living in the land.
But why, so
Okay.
why do you support? Do you support them because terrorists are attacking them?
No, there's many reasons. I'm just trying to simplify an answer just for a vague question. I'm giving a vague answer. Obviously, we can expand. There's more to it. I also don't believe it's a genocide because it doesn't meet the definition of Genocide Convention of 48 that was ratified in 51. Doesn't meet the
You've
Dole
seen Gaza
Specialis.
today, and have you seen it 2023, right? They're cutting off the food supply, cutting off the water supply. They have kept on shooting after the ceasefire. They've made it clear they want to expand to Greater Israel. They want to ethnically cleanse them, destroy
Who's
the
they?
land. It's been completely destroyed. The Jewish Zionists controlling Israel.
All of them, or
none of that makes something a genocide. By the way.
Yeah, that's what Nick's going to bring up. He's like bombing lots of buildings, and that's not the meaning of the word. You can anyway. This dude has some serious problems. Apparently, Sneako thinks, hey, if you do mean things to another person, then it's genocide. It's like following his definition of genocide. Like every war is a genocide.
This is the funny thing. Like I see this thing again and again. Like they love this kind of stuff. You know, the whole pro-Palestine agenda has been a very, very good attention and money making machine. So you see these. The same posts again and again pop up and go viral and have like 30, 40, 50,000 likes. It's like this thing, a photo of Gaza with all the buildings destroyed and say, what is this if not genocide, for example? Very, very nice. You know, it's of course very cool to ask. All these buildings destroyed. People live in buildings. So if all the buildings are destroyed, then of course all the people must be dead. So therefore it must be a genocide. Even in that case, it wouldn't be genocide. However, yes, all the buildings are destroyed, or most of the buildings are destroyed. Is most of the population dead? No.
Population increased the entire time.
Yeah. Is the vast majority of the population alive and has not been killed during this entire war where most of the buildings were destroyed? Yes. So then how in the world does destroying all the buildings make something a genocide? It just doesn't.
Yeah, if you look at pictures of the places in Gaza that were destroyed, look pretty much exactly like places in Syria that were destroyed, just piles of rubble everywhere. Even though you had people who, complaining about Assad and so on, you didn't see the same energy for calling all this genocide and so on. And I mean, you can go back to World War II. They were blowing cities down to rubble and so on. So anyway, lots of buildings got bombed and so on. So if that's what makes a genocide, then it's genocides all the time.
Some of them, 10% of them, 100% of them. I know some people have said that. Of course, there's people that are allowed to agree with that. There's some people that want America to expand too, and there's some people that disagree with it. But that wouldn't mean I would attribute that to Donald Trump or the administration. But before you kind of labeled a huge list.
You're going here.
Oh, someone posted Alias said Israel is the most. Oh, a couple people posted it. Yeah, so Alias said Israel is so bad at genocide. Dennis said this is the most incompetent genocide ever. Yeah, Sneako's actually going to address that because the guy's like, okay, if your intention is this and they're not doing that, then what? And he's like, well, Israel knows it would be bad optics. So he's saying, okay, so you're saying they want to do the genocide, but they're so concerned about the optics that they don't actually do what is required for the genocide. Anyway.
Going everywhere. Okay.
You went everywhere. That's my
Israel-
point. I'm trying to bring us back. You just labeled a whole thing. I'm trying to go back to the genocide.
I didn't even mention Trump, and you went over to Trump. I want to go back to
Right,
the
as an
original question. So,
So you don't want to talk about genocide?
Okay, I do want to get there, but I have to figure out what you believe in. I don't know who
Okay,
you are, and I
fair
don't know
enough.
why you're supporting Israel.
Okay, fair enough. Go back.
Why are you upset?
I'm literally not upset. I said fair enough. Go back.
So Nick, here Sneako's going to ask him about his beliefs and so on. He's going to say he kind of believes in God, but not any specific religion and so on like that. And I think he believes in some scriptures or something like that. Anyway, we're going to skip through some of that because we want to get to some stuff.
Or over a million, actually, it says. Tens of thousands to over a million. So I don't know what you read,
Total hadith.
Oh, hang on. This just because
Again,
he says he did a
There
lot of
are
reading and
different
read a bunch of hadith.
clarifications on how many hadith you could believe
No.
and how many are.
He said he's read, I think he said like 15,000 hadiths, and Sneako's like, nope, I looked it up. There's only a couple thousand hadiths. And he's like, what are you talking about? There's over 7,000 just in Bukhari. I'm trying to think whatever Sneako looked up, I'm trying to think like what he could make. Matter of fact, let's just back it up because
I had the very same thoughts. I thought, I mean, Google wouldn't give that answer, so I wonder what he looked up. So I just Googled how many hadiths are there. Google tells me while there are over 600,000 to 1 million narrations evaluated, the most widely recognized collections, the Kutub al-Sitta, contain roughly 36,000 to 40,000 in total, and that is just those the 6 recognized ones, the 6 recognized books. There are also the ones outside of them. So I'm not sure what exactly he looked up where he would get that such a small number.
I'm thinking, let's see what he says, but I'm thinking it's something along the lines of, like you could get we've got the 9-volume Sahih al-Bukhari and so on. Back in the day, they would have the 2-volume Sahih al-Bukhari because they would take out all the repetitions. So in other words, you have different chains giving basically the same hadith. So they took out the repetitions and just included. So maybe he was on some site that said, no, there's only actually a couple thousand or something like that. But let's see, let's back this up.
Against organized religion?
No, I'm not against it per se. I guess it depends on how that organized religion plays out. But I don't like harp on anyone if they're part of an organized religion. That's fine.
And you said you read 20,000 hadith?
15 to 20,000. Read all of Sahih al-Bukhari, which is about 7,500 hadiths. I read all of Sahih Muslim, and I've read some of the ones beyond that.
Right. Google's saying it's around like 2,000 to 7,000 but
wait,
maybe
you don't
reading
know
Shia
your
ones.
own?
Yeah, 2,000 to 7,000. Okay, there's 7,000. There's over 7,000 just in Bukhari, Sneako. And those are the ones that met his standards and that he evaluated and so on. Anyway.
Wait a minute. I think I see what. Oh yeah, okay. That's probably it. What number did he just mention?
He said between 2,000 and 7,000. Sneako did. He said he looked it up and there's only 2,000 to 7,000 hadiths because Nick here said that he's read 15 to 20,000. So I'm thinking Sneako looked something up that's like, okay, if you take out all the repetitions and the different it's like if you look up a hadith about Aisha being 9. Okay, there are about 200 of those hadiths. And you have a lot of like the exact same hadith, but it's in different collections. So if you count that as a different hadith, in other words, a lot of the hadiths from Sahih al-Bukhari are also in Sahih Muslim, and a lot of those are also in Sunan Abu Dawud. So I'm thinking he just said, okay, I read all Sahih al-Bukhari and I read all of Sahih Muslim and I read all this. So you add them all up and it's 15 to 20,000. And I think Sneako's on some site that said if you take out. It would have to be like if you took out the repetitions, like just in Bukhari or something like that, because that would be about 2,000 if you took out.
I'm pretty sure what he's doing there is he's simply very quickly typing into Google how many hadith or something like that. So I just did the same thing. I just typed how many hadith. The result that I get from the AI overview of Google is it highlights in words hundreds of thousands to over 1 million, but then it says just below major authentic collections. Sahih al-Bukhari contains 7,500 total narrations, about 2,600 without repetition. What he just said, the numbers seem very close to that. So I wonder if he just
he must have saw something like that. Didn't understand it.
Yeah, because he has no idea about his religion and its sources. What an idiot!
Well, can't be too focused when you're too busy. What did Malik say they're doing? Oh yeah, smashing hoes, running trains, all that stuff that hitting the club, all the stuff that Malik exposed the Dawah guys for.
No, that's okay. First off, aren't you Muslim?
Yeah, again,
dude,
there's
Sahih al-Bukhari
specifically reliable.
Sahih al-Bukhari has 7,500 hadiths by itself, dude. How do you not know this?
Again, there are different clarifications on how many hadith you could believe and how many are specifically reliable. There's different interpretations.
Sahih al-Bukhari is reliable. It's Sahih, which means authentic. Do you know what Sahih means?
Yes. Look, the point is that there's different schools of thought and different people believe in different amounts of hadith.
Correct.
This is the first time I heard someone say 20,000.
Dude, well, first off, I don't know what you Googled, but Sunni Hadith, Sahih
Yeah, I mean, just listen to what Sneako just. Oh yeah, different people believe in different numbers of hadith. Yeah, you said there are only 2 to 7,000 because you did some sort of quick search. Okay, that's false. If you want to say my particular group only believes in 2,000 hadith. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't mean he didn't read 15 to 20,000 hadiths.
Bukhari is Sunni, okay? Sahih al-Bukhari by itself, before you even get into Sahih.
Sneako, it's very easy, Sneako. I mean, everybody knows what he's doing here right now. Sneako, it's very, very easy. Either don't say anything, don't open your mouth, or once you realize you are clearly wrong and it's been exposed, just say, "Okay, I was wrong on that."
Yeah, and you say, "Hey, I did this search. Yeah, I've never counted." I think he does say something. I think he says something along the lines of, "Yeah, I've never counted them" or something like that. But yeah, the general idea, Sneako. Yeah, don't try to correct someone unless you actually know. And if you don't actually know, then ask. Really, are there 15 to 20,000? I did not know that. Let me look that up.
Muslim is 7,500. What did you Google exactly? How many hadiths are there? I'm going to Google that just to see what mine says. How many total hadiths are there? Yeah, so what I got is... It estimates range from tens of thousands to over 100,000, as you can know. It's not focusing, but or over a million. Actually, it says tens of thousands to over a million. So I don't know what you read.
Total hadith, it depends.
Hey, that agreed with AP's research.
It's debated about how many specific hadiths
okay,
are.
But
how many
no one in the world would say there's only 2,000 or whatever you said.
I wasn't refuting you. If you're coming here to do this gotcha moment, I was asking because this is the first time I've heard.
That's called a gotcha moment, Sneako. And Sneako, he says he just didn't know.
Somebody say that they've read that many or that there were that many. Most of the people that I've spoken to say there's around 7,000 as
Bro, I promise you it wasn't to be a gotcha. I just never heard a Muslim say that. But yeah, I know a lot of people have read way more than me. But sure, I mean, they're not that long. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that I'm not Christian or Muslim or Jewish.
Let's go back to the original question.
Sure.
So do you believe that land, which is the Zionist belief, was promised to them 3,000 years ago?
What do you mean by that land? So like Genesis 15, for example, says from the Euphrates River to the river of Egypt, which some people say is the Nile River, but that's actually not correct. It's actually the Al-Wadi area, which is in the Sinai. But if you go into the book of like Joshua, Numbers, it actually is smaller. The borders are actually smaller. So it just depends on what you mean by that land. Yes, I do believe God literally said that, but I don't generally need to use religious beliefs to defend my position with Israel. We can talk about religion, but I don't particularly.
But if you don't believe in religion, then why do you believe this aspect of religion?
I do believe in the word of God. I'm just saying organized religion. Like, for example, the Catholic Church I left, not because I was against certain things in the Bible. It's because of organized religion. And when I say I'm against it, again, I'm not saying other people, I like condemn them for it. That's fine. I'm just saying me personally. But yes, I believe in the words of God.
So you believe in the word of God, but you don't believe in organized religion. But in the word of God, it clarifies organized religion.
Where?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by organized religion because, Old Testament, New Testament, Quran would all seem to kind of organize religion.
All over it. Like the Torah saying that the people, it comes from the tribe, that
I'm not from that, so Jewish, that's not to me.
But you're using that. You're using that as an example.
Okay, so if you read, you're talking about like Deuteronomy and Leviticus, what it says is to the Hebrews, ... I'm not part of that. So you're correct, it does say that, but that wouldn't apply to me.
So you believe that they're right, but you're not part, you don't...
Well, it is kind of a thing. Organized religion, I know people use that a lot. People who say, I believe in God or I believe in something, but not in organized religion. People do that kind of stuff a lot. It's just organized religion is a relatively modern, a new term in anthropology that is simply there to distinguish organized religions from those religions that are rather localized or tribal, or depending on shamans and things like that, like the ancient or the old Norse religion, the pre-Islamic polytheistic religion, the Celtic religions, and all that. And the difference simply is that those religions I mean, the differences are actually very many, but the difference specifically with Abrahamic religion, which is also a relatively new way to describe things, and organized religion, and those religions is simply that these religions have a core text that people come to and get their knowledge and their doctrines from. They have councils where they come together and decide certain things. They have, it's not just multiple different priests or shamans or this and that telling stories and orally delivering things. It is that these religions, organized religions, have a more centralized thing at their core. So if you want to say that you believe in God's word and you believe in scripture, you already kind of do believe in organized religion. It's kind of a weird term to use. No offense to Nick here.
Trying to figure out, so you agree and disagree with them?
No, you're just wow. Okay. What I'm saying is that was laws given to the Hebrews and their descendants.
It almost sounds like he's saying here. It almost sounds like he's saying, yeah, that would be organized religion, but that's for them. I'm talking about me. I'm not part of that. So I'm not part of an organized religion. So that stuff doesn't apply to me. So it sounds like something like that. So he's like, I believe that was revealed by God or something like that, but that's not revealed to me. So I'm not part of that.
Children of Israel, or if you're Muslim, they say Bani Israel. I'm not part of that.
Are they correct? Are they correct?
Is what correct? Do I believe God said that to them?
Are they correct in believing that that land was promised to them 3,000 years ago?
I do believe God promised that.
Sneako, if you're saying, was that land, are they correct that that land was promised to them 3,000 years ago or a little more? That's true according to the Quran, Sneako. That's in the Quran. Now, if you want to say that, Allah changed that later on, that's one thing. But if you're saying back then was that land promised to them, that's true according to the Quran, dude. That's true according to the Quran. So anyway, Sneako might.
And if you want to make the argument that Allah changed it later on or anything like that, you would have to kind of, you would have to interpret things, because all it does say is that Allah promised it to them.
To Abraham, and that
they have the authority to punish those who cause corruption or spread mischief. That they have the ability, they have the authority from Allah, according to Surah 5, verse 32, to carry out the death penalty against those who make mischief or spread corruption in the land that Allah gave them. So, Sneako, I don't think, has Sneako ever actually examined that? Because again, if you want to say, but Allah changed later on, but here he's complaining about the idea that it was promised to them thousands of years ago, and he's objecting to that idea.
I'm pretty sure Sneako hasn't examined anything ever.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. The only thing he's really examined is the book of the Council of Nicaea.
Covenant went through Isaac and Jacob. That is true. But again, I want to make it very clear, because I know you're trying to pivot to this. I can defend my position of Israel. I got you.
I want to figure out why. So I'm asking you very, important questions.
My defense
find
of
out what you believe in.
My defense of Israel can come absent of religion. I do not.
That's my perspective. I've said before that if I'm a Zionist, like in the same sense that Sam Harris, the atheist, is a Zionist. It's okay. Israel's there. It's good that it's good that Jews have a place if the rest of the world turns against them, where they don't depend on other people to protect them, because other people can change their minds about that real quick, and history shows that.
Need to bring up religion to defend Israel. If you're asking, do I only defend it because I think it's God's promise? That's not the answer.
Okay, so then 1948, the land was sold from the British to the Rothschild family, and it started the formation of Israel. Do you agree? Do you believe that was right?
AP, that's going to be a lot of his case moving forward. So if you have a problem with the land being sold to the Rothschilds, going to have a rough time with this, man.
So, gosh, this is so ridiculous, man. Why is this guy even talking about anything? So the Rothschilds Can I just? I'll just refer to them as the Rothschild family because that's how it's pronounced, and I have a very
No,
big
we got
thing
to
with.
go with the authentic Sneako pronunciation.
I have a. I mean, I know lots of people pronounce it as Rothschild, and I usually don't say anything, but I don't want to pronounce it as Rothschild because it's Rothschild, but which just literally means red sign or red shield.
That's funny.
Because
I would literally like 1 second before you said it, I was like, is that would that be red? German? Is this German?
yeah,
Interesting.
it's because they were because the family simply adopted last names because it was imposed on them for it was imposed on Jews to adopt last names in the German language. So the Jewish populations generally used some random name, something that was close to their actual names, something that was meaningful to them, or something just to identify each other by. So the Rothschild family, they were living in a house that had a big prominent red sign right next to it, which is why people started referring to them as the Rothschilds or the Rothschilds, which is how that became their name. So it's kind of funny, it's not that sinister, but
No,
they had
they named themselves the Red Shields because their shields would be covered in the blood of the goyim, and the blood of Christian children that they use in their crackers.
the Rothschild family had very little to nothing to do with the building and establishment of the modern state of Israel. They did appear
Who was supposed to believe? You were Sneako, man.
very unfortunately in two places at two certain times where things were a little bit crucial. One of those was when one of the Rothschilds became part of the Zionist Association. The funny thing about this whole thing is that the Rothschilds were very, very much against Zionism when it was rising, when it was becoming prominent. They really didn't like it because they were hanging out with the elites. They were hanging out with whatever works, with whatever makes money. And the whole Zionist idea to them was this stupid idea of a bunch of people who have nothing better to do and who don't do proper business. It was bound to fail and all that. So which is why the Rothschilds were not in on it at all in the beginnings. However, one of them at some point, when it became more and more realistic, joined the Zionist organization in London, in the UK. And at that time, a letter was sent to them officially approving the Zionist project, the designating of the mandate of Palestine to rebuild a modern Jewish state, which is why, and because the Rothschild guy was in that organization, and he was a prominent guy, so he became a spokesperson for it. Not even a spokesperson, just somebody who receives correspondence. So, which is why the letter was sent to him, which is why it starts with "Dear so-and-so Rothschild." So that is one guy. He had actually nothing to do with the Zionist movement. The other guy was another Rothschild guy who in the beginnings was one of the many people who worked in purchasing and properly establishing lands and roads and fields and stuff like that in the modern land of Israel. That's it. The Rothschilds were not the leaders of the Zionist movement. They were not at the head of the Zionist movement. They were not in charge of the state of Israel. They were literally nowhere close to that. It had nothing to do with them. The Britain did not sell anything to them. Britain didn't have the means to sell anything to them. Most of the land that is owned by Israel today was bought by Zionist Jews, not from Britain. It was bought from Arabs, from Arab people who owned land there. Arabs themselves sold land to the Jews. Other Arabs or Greeks or others lent their land to the Jews on 100-year contracts and things like that, for example, where they can simply keep the land and cultivate it. And much of the land that was unowned by anybody, that was state-owned by the Ottoman Empire under their rule, was taken over by Britain and was then delivered to the new authority in charge, which would be the Zionist movement or the modern state of Israel, while some, which they did not give to that entity, was left to the Arabs, who then only very, very recently, in 1988, decided to declare the modern state of Palestine. So this whole idea that some land was sold to the Rothschilds and that's how it started, before that it belonged to the Palestinians, it's complete nonsense. And anybody who says something like that just doesn't know anything about the history at all.
This dude does. This dude Nick does, and he's about to point some stuff out. He's pointing out that I think he points out that a bunch of the land under discussion was actually government-owned land. It was a bunch of it was owned by the Ottoman Empire, and then when Great Britain took over, then it was owned by Great Britain. It was government land, and then Jews bought a bunch of private land and so on. Anyway.
That's what I mean. That's the distinction. So most of the area-wise, most of the land was not owned privately. It was state property. So state property from the Ottoman Empire then went to the British, who then decided what to do with it. Most of the privately owned land belonged to local Arab people who sold the land to Jews, for which they were hated by others.
No, first off, the letter to Rothschild was in 1917, not 48. The 48.
I didn't say the letter. I said it was purchased. I said that's when the transaction went through.
No, actually, the partition 1A1 alone was in 1947, November 29th, 1947. So again, that's just not right.
All right. Okay.
I don't know why you're laughing. It's just not right. No, that was the partition plan.
All right. Okay. It started in 1948, correct? That's when Israel started to move, and that's when the land. No. Finally, the transaction went through officially.
No, when they started to move, the first major aliyah was in 1881. Okay, so no, it wouldn't have started in 48. If you're asking when they declared its establishment, May 14th, 1948, if that's what you're asking,
that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Okay, well, that's just not what you said.
That's when the declaration was, and that's when it was official. That's when it went through. That's the important part of this conversation.
Okay, right? Yes. If you're asking when they established...
You've done a lot of research on these dates and things. Are you here stream sniping to debate me?
I would love to debate you. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
No. But is this the purpose of this? You were trying to find me?
I was literally just on Omi TV, and I skipped the last person I was talking to who pointed a gun at me, and he had like a swastika, and then I was like, I'd like to talk to you, and then he skipped, and then I connected with you, literally.
Okay. So was this correct? Because after
you were the backup plan. You're the backup plan, Sneako. He was talking to this other dude.
There was a genocide that was reported called the Nakba, the expulsion of the Palestinians.
Did you hear that? Genocide, the Nakba.
That was a genocide too?
Right. Yes, it's been a continuous genocide, but that's a major event in the ongoing genocide since 1948. Do you agree of that expulsion?
I'm not aware of a population exploding like that population did because of that genocide.
So the land was purchased by the Rothschilds.
See that?
Okay.
You keep saying it.
So no, I don't agree that it was I don't agree that was a genocide. Genocide is defined specifically, the second to last page of the Genocide Convention. It says cultural destruction does not suffice, nor does simply dispersing a group of people. Those can be violations of the Rome Statute, but that is not the same thing as genocide. It wouldn't meet the dolus specialis of genocide.
What do you consider to be the definition of genocide?
Doesn't matter what I consider, it's just the definition. So I would go with the 1948 convention that was ratified in 51. And then if you look that up, you will see the definition, but you also see the definition of dolus specialis, what that means, the hierarchy of international law from just Kogan's norms, right, all the way down to Article 107, and then before that, or under that would be the mix between customary international law and treaty law.
Do you think Sneako understood one word of what that guy just said? Not one word.
No.
Okay, well, on Google it's saying, coined by Raphael Lemkin in 1944. There's a recognized crime under international law involving acts like killing, causing severe harm, or preventing births within.
Yeah, Sneako, all that stuff has to be connected to certain other things. You just said, such as killing. Okay, really? Is any killing a genocide? Any killing?
Yes.
Right? You can't just take out little pieces and ignore what connects it all under the umbrella.
And if you break into my house and kill me and I kill you instead, that's literally genocide.
Yeah, you see, it's genocide.
True. Genocide is the deliberate and
yes, every war in history has been a genocide by that definition.
Yeah.
In whole and part of an ethnic, racial, religious, or national group. So the land was purchased, and then.
Are you using Google instead of like legal terminology?
Right. This term was coined in 1944.
That's
It was a
correct.
crime
Yeah.
under international law. So this is a legal term.
Right,
So
and
I'm
the
following the
UN
legal
convention was in 1948. So you're correct. 44
Right, so
was
4 years
before 48.
before, by the definition under international law. So again, if you don't like Google definition, this is the international law definition.
Oh, you are
So
reading. Okay,
how
my
is
bad.
the
Let me Google something. Let me Google something here. How much did the Palestinian Arab population grow from 1948 to 2026? Google says the Palestinian Arab population has increased nearly tenfold since 1948, growing from approximately 1.4 million during the Nakba to over 15 million worldwide by the end of 2025.
Over tenfold, 1.4 million to 15 million. And as Sneako says, and they were being genocided the entire time. What's in those bombs? Fertilizer?
Within historic Palestine, the population grew from about 450,000 to over 7.4 million by mid-2025. Apparently this is a genocide.
Yeah, and I'm not sure because again, this is a 2-hour conversation. I put down a couple. Marks where I want to get to some things. I don't remember where it was, but Nick actually brings up. It's like, wait, you're saying this is what they're trying to do, but the opposite happens. What's going on there? And Sneako's like, yeah, because they're concerned about the optics. The optics.
Okay, I accept your apology. Is this not genocide by this definition?
No.
How come?
So am I answering about the Nakba or am I answering post-October 7th? Because you brought up both.
Nakba.
Okay, so the Nakba, do you believe that they had an intent to wipe out a group in whole or in part of a protected status? Because I'm pretty sure the Nakba, as defined by the Palestinians, especially post-1964 political movement, right, with the PLO, when you look at the Nakba, it's talking about 750,000 that were displaced. 2/3 of them never actually even crossed international borders, which is what's required as a refugee, unless you're a Palestinian. They made up a new definition for them. Hold on, almost done. Just one more sentence. And so you're saying that displacement, even if you counted all that, you're counting that as genocide. That's not what genocide is.
Very interesting, because if you are counting displacement as genocide, I can tell you about a little fake prophet, Sneako, who said that he will expel all Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any there but Muslims.
Powerful.
So they were just displacing people, killing them, and kicking out of their homes. Not
By that definition, expelling people, things like that, Muhammad genocided the Jews of Medina, right? He expelled some and he killed some, and he enslaved the women and children. I gotta make a video, Sneako. Sneako accuses Muhammad of genocide.
genocide.
That's not genocide now.
Okay. Should you kill, displace, and kick them out of their homes because it was purchased by the Rothschilds? Is that morally right?
That's not what I'm saying at all, because that's also not accurate.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm asking you. So what do you think happened after 1948?
Sure. So in November 29th, 1947, a minute after the partition plan vote, there was actually the leader of the Arab Committee at the United Nations 4 days before that said that we will fight to the last Arab to prevent any Jewish state ever, right? And then a minute after the partition plan vote, they started attacking just Jews. You can't say Israel because Israel didn't even exist yet for another about 6 months, right? So they started attacking Jews. There was 10 different Arab factions that attacked Jews in 1948 after the establishment of Israel. So I would call it a war that they lost. 70,000 Jews were displaced in the first week of the war alone. Many of them killed, and many of them never got to return to their homes because Jordan ended up annexing illegally what they call the West Bank. Would you say that was a genocide if we're just pretending killing and displacement equals genocide now? I wouldn't say that. I'm asking, would you say that?
Pretending. So your question is killing and displacing people genocide?
That's what you literally said, Sneako. That's your definition of genocide. And he just said, if that's your definition of genocide, then the Muslims genocided the Jews before that.
I'm saying it's not. It could be, but it's not.
Okay, this is separate. What happened in 1948? What was that? You're not calling it genocide. You didn't answer the question. Was that
I did.
morally
I
correct?
answered it already. I said it was a war.
So once it was purchased, it was declared
Guys,
war
keep
because
liking
the
the
land was
live.
now owned by the Rothschild family who purchased it.
Heart means do whatever you can.
Again,
I was trying to figure out that voice here and there, but yeah, I think that's his wife.
what is your question?
So the Rothschild family, because they purchased it from the British.
Okay, we're gonna fast forward because that's just gonna keep enraging AP more and more. So they talk about other stuff for a while, and then around 40 minutes, I think they get back to. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by genocide?
What do you mean?
Yeah. So anyway, fast forward a bit. Actually, let's take a couple super chats real quick so we don't get too backed up, and then we'll start this up again at the 40-minute marker. What do we have? They have decided to imprison the mother and sister of Enoch Burke. Is Ireland law for what? For being his mother and sister, or did they tick people off too? Or if they're just like, no, we agree with him, or something like that. That's going to be pretty creepy. David Godlogic. Yeah, David Godlogic made a video with Mike Winger. You must takfir him. Well, you don't just instantly takfir people. You're dealing with a master manipulator, and Mike Winger, and so you have to, you try to convince people first. Ayatollah Winger 2026. Yep. He should definitely be the next supreme leader of Iran. Thank you, AP.
Oh, the new supreme leader is actually has been announced. It's Mujtaba
Oh, I know.
Khamenei, who is the son of the previous Khamenei.
I know. I heard he's a pretty big scumbag too.
And he'll probably get killed soon as well.
That's what I'm saying. So they're going to need someone else. So you got that dude. He's a scumbag like his dad was. And then they're going to look around for someone worse. And who's worse than both those guys? Mike Winger. Thank you, AP. It's okay to let David joke about me. At least I'm recognized. Love you both. Hope we'll have more stuff to joke about. We all needed to laugh more, especially when the times are hard. Besides David. David's right. My jokes can be annoying.
No. David is wrong.
Sneako, Nick, and Myron are psyops. Oh, Sneako, Nick, and Myron are psyops.
They are.
This guy's name is Nick. Are you talking about this Nick?
No.
Yeah.
Fuento.
Fritos. The UK is Epstein Island for Muslims. 100,000 plus minor UK girls abused by Islamists in Rotherham and ignored by the authorities. Yep, that is the supreme Epstein Island. Why you support Mo if you are not into men? That's what why do you support Israel if you're not Jewish? Why do you support Muhammad if you're not into dudes? The Muslims really sent their sharpest and brightest scholar to defend Islam. Sneako, he just said evidences as plural. You can have some plural evidences. It's a building genocide, you see. They're genociding all the buildings.
It's a buildicide.
Sneako and Junior are the same person. That would be the ultimate tag team debate. Junior and Sneako versus pretty much anyone on our side. Sneako has sugar in his tank. What's that?
It's a domicide. A domicide. That's the word
go.
for a large-scale destruction of homes and residential infrastructure.
Yeah, just call it domicide, Sneako. How authentic is the Al-Zut Hadiths? You find different scholars saying different things, but you have some scholars, some Muslim scholars who class it as Sahih. You can tell he's having a horrible weeko. He has a lot of horrible weekos. Don't know if you saw it. If not, TLDR. Oh, Chris versus Nadir. God will only say to follow a book he approves. Nadir, let's talk about the Holocaust. Oh, I know. I know. That's what Nadir does.
I saw a little bit of that debate. It was just so horrible, man. And the thing is, whenever I see his face, I think mustard seed. And so I opened the debate live stream and came upon his presentation, and it starts with mustard seed. So
that's what I mean. And then he's like, everyone's running from me. It's like, dude, we heard this stuff 20 years ago, and it sucked then, and you have no followers because even Muslims.
And I can show to you that the Bible doesn't even know what
genocidal Bible.
The Bible caused the Holocaust because of its ignorance about a mustard seed.
And everybody's running from me. I challenge you to a debate about the mustard seed.
Because I had debates with some Muslims scheduled and those Muslims canceled upon me, James offered that I do debate Nader Ahmed because he has been repeatedly asking for me. So I was like, you know what? If all these people are canceling, yeah, sure, I'll debate Nader Ahmed. Then he said, what debate topic? I said, was Muhammad a pedophile? So he asked Nader, and Nader came back saying he would like to change the debate title to make it something like, was the marriage of Muhammad to Aisha moral? And I said, no. The debate title is, what was Muhammad a pedophile? Then he said he's not interested anymore. So
Shocker. Yeah, it seems like Nadir's entire strategy is always just be as annoying as possible till people just want nothing to do with you, and then say everyone is running from you.
yeah.
That seems to be the tactic. The Islamic dilemma also confirms Israel is Jewish land, so Muslims are in a bind here. Allah really is a Zionist. Oh, yeah. Allah is the best of Zionists. Only things Sneako has really examined are trains. Why support Taiwan when you're not Buddhist? Good point. Why support Saudi Arabia if you're not Muslim? These are all very good points. Hey, D Wood, loved the video you just did with God Logic. Ha ha ha. Oh, that's so funny. Everyone's so funny. Did a short about what? Did a short about Jibreel being Satan. The Muslims weren't happy, lol.
That was a good one, though.
Hey, everyone, check that out on AT Ministries site. I'm starting to look into the Orthodox Church. Any reading suggestions? Operation Deus Volt will continue until Iran is liberated.
I would recommend one book, which is called The Orthodox Way by Metropolitan Callistos Ware, or Timothy Ware. And he has another book called The Orthodox Church. But those two are very, very, very good to read for anybody.
Ironically, if we believe all the BS conspiracy theories surrounding the... Should I go with a German pronunciation? Is that what you think the correct pronunciation is? Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Rothschilds. Theories surrounding the Rothschilds. It just proves that the Rothschilds are more powerful than Allah, yeah? Ich mag das. What?
Nothing.
International law can't be enforced, ergo international law effectively doesn't exist. That is a little problem. I actually find it amusing when some Christians make the promise to them 2,000 years ago joke. I challenge them to call whoever made such ridiculous promise an idiot that should be ignored. Oh, are you saying whoever makes that promise? Yeah, that should be that should be a challenge to Sneako whenever he brings it up. Wait, are you saying it's absurd and ridiculous and false to say that God, that the creator of the universe, told them that land was theirs? You think that's ridiculous? You think there's no way God said that? Yeah, there's no way God. Okay, let's open the Quran. You're not a Muslim anymore, dude.
Who would even make such a promise?
It's obviously just the Jews made it up. Oh, I guess the Jews wrote the Quran.
It's the same thing with like I see these things like Jews were called goyim and all that. They say goyim, goyim. I mean, I really urge people to look up where the term goyim comes from. where in Judaism that comes from. Where Judaism adopts the word goy and goyim from, why that is a thing. I really urge people to look that up, especially if you're a Christian. That'd be very nice.
Thanos here says, Yasu Malaka, David, and AP, Tikanis, Kala.
Yes.
But he called us Malakas, man. So Sneako thinks that the Rothschilds control the world secretly, but he is reading stuff from Google, a company in which the Rothschilds have a stake. Shaking my head, yeah. I'm gonna get all of my information to expose these guys from this site that they partially own. D-Diz were into Mo, and Mo was into D-Diz, the circle of Zoot. What's that? What's D-Diz?
Dudes.
Oh, dudes. Chris told Nadir about man playing pigeon in chess. Bet Nadir didn't understand. Is train spotting popular in Islam? Yep.
Yes.
And snitching as well. Last stream, you guys talked about Dune, right? Count Dankula did a vid about Dune cause 9/11. Funny vid and quite possible, not gonna lie. That's interesting. And then we have my Google search is the proof, you see. Yes, the most powerful proof. Hey, Deus Vult is a Catholic word. You guys can't use that. It's our word. That's actually what I was thinking. But is that correct, AP? Is that correct? Can the Orthodox use that?
Orthodox, no. I can though.
You guys were more. You guys favored Greek more than Latin, didn't you?
Everybody favored Greek more than Latin until the West started adopting Latin. You know the history.
I'm just saying, if you're going to use, why not use Greek words instead of Latin? Momo entered Medina.
Latin is beast.
Momo entered Medina. Juice kicked out Memdani and New York.
Powerful.
Oh, yeah. No, okay. Muhammad entered Medina and the Jews were kicked out. And Mamdani, yeah, you don't get all the details here from this, but Mamdani was, and remember when Muhammad, immigrated to another area, that should be the model for. It's like, wait a minute, he went in there and started, in Sneako's words, genociding them.
Yes.
Rothschild, red shields, child, human shield. You see? Oh, we got a good connection there. That is interesting. All right, everyone, let's get back to this. Check it out. Thanks, everyone, for the super chats.
I'd like to focus.
I'm not trying to deflect.
On one.
There's focus on.
You don't let me speak at all. I want to go to the original.
You've been speaking 80% of the time.
80%. I promise you, it's not been 80%. You have asked almost every question. And you originally brought up genocide. We talked about it for very little, and then you moved on from it. I want to know why you think it is a genocide today.
Because they have wiped out the entire civilization. They made it clear that they want to starve.
The population grew. Sneako.
They wiped out the entire civilization. What does that even mean? They wiped out
cutting off the water supply. The ratio since October 7th of murder has been 70-1. This follows so many definitions.
70 to 1 what?
Looked up
70 to 1 what?
70 to 1. They said it's a war, but the ratio of deaths is about 70 to 1, and that's just
70
reported.
to 1 what? What are you saying? Are you saying combatant to civilian? Or civilian to combatant?
This is why you're getting really angry.
Sneako doesn't even know how to explain what he's talking about. I think he means like 70 Palestinians killed for every Israeli killed.
And then he goes,
that's not the definition of a genocide, Sneako. It just means you're better at war or better equipped or something like that.
Look at this. Does Nick look angry here?
Nope. He's enraged.
Easy ratio to understand. This is the ratio of deaths, right? This is why I'm saying it's a genocide, not a war. October 7th, which Israel had.
Tell me what the ratio is. You still haven't told me.
I just said death.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Sneako, you can't just say 70 to 1. 70 what to 1 what? What are you talking about? That's what he's asking for. He's not clear on that.
There's been 70.
Yeah, and he even asked, he's like, are you talking about civilians to combatants? What are you talking about? Because remember, Mohammed Hijab had that 100 to 1 civilian to, it was total nonsense. But yeah, he's just asking you to explain it. You aren't.
70%, 700% more death on the Palestinian side than there has been on the Israeli side. It's been
that's not what genocide is defined as.
Yeah, look up a definition. That's not the definition, Sneako. Everyone on your side could survive, and a ton of people on the other side could be killed. That's not the definition. That's just one side being more powerful and way better at war.
Also, you're saying it's okay to kill everybody.
Just cited multiple reasons, and this is part of the reason why.
Right, can you tell me why it's
you get angry when you ask a question.
I'm literally not angry.
And I'm answering your question. Okay, but you're interrupting. I'm answering your question. You said, why is it a genocide? Okay, and I'm explaining. Since October 7th, which Israel had foreknowledge of, it said around 1,000 Israelis were killed. Okay?
1,200.
Maybe it was 800, maybe it was 900.
It was 1,200.
They said that there were 40 beheaded babies. That never
They
happened.
never
there was no
said
evidence of
that.
this.
They never said that.
It
Yes,
That
it
was
is.
a
Ben
French
Shapiro was pushing.
report.
This is another example, that 40 babies thing. That's something, I think it was a French reporter blurted out or something like that. And then people who are looking for information, they kind of run with a misunderstanding, and it spreads around. What happens then? They investigate and find out it's wrong. If you think, like, when there's breaking news and people are still trying to figure out what's going on, if someone gets something wrong, that means this huge deception by a nation. Dude, I've seen a U.S. aircraft carrier repeatedly blown up by the Iranians over the past several days. I've seen it repeatedly blown up. They've blown it up. They've been shooting planes right out. They've been shooting U.S. planes right out the sky. The Iranians, they're so powerful.
This narrative.
That was a French report.
And that's people who are actually trying to deceive on behalf of Iran and so on. How's that not a problem? Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Like, who did this big scheme of someone got something wrong and it spread around because people were scrambling for information and so on. And you say, see, evil, Israel, evil, Jews, evil because of that. And it's okay. You guys are Iranians are lying left and right. What's that mean, Sneako? No, it doesn't mean anything. And I'm sure he probably loves that stuff.
So the unfortunate thing is that when that whole, it was in the immediate aftermath of the October 7 attacks. It was a reporter who said that she got news on the ground of 40 babies beheaded, and of course nobody had any idea what was going on. So when a reporter said this, lots of people inside Israel or on the Israeli side did start sharing that story and did start adopting it and saying, you killed 40 babies and all that. And then after a while it came out that this is not actually true, and the whole list of deaths came out, and there weren't 40 beheaded babies. But the thing is, so that of course added to their propaganda of saying Israel created this propaganda. The thing is that the Israel itself, the Israeli officials, never ever made such a claim. In fact, when they were asked initially on the first day about the claim, they said, we can neither confirm nor deny this. We don't know. So that's what they said.
That's the thing, that like after everything, where it's especially like that. I mean, even if you have like a focused terrorist attack where a jihadi blows up a few people in a spot, right? It takes a while to get the details right. It takes a while to know exactly what happened. And guess what? It's very common to say, oh, there were 2 attackers. And then 2 days later, you find out, oh, it was only 1 attacker and things like that. Mm-hmm. That's very common. You don't say, you see, the government is responsible for this propaganda and so on, unless it's Israel. And then you can't shake these guys off of that. They'll be saying this. They'll be saying this 30 years from now.
Porter, who misquoted that
Piers
and was
Morgan
corrected.
was allegedly saying this.
Yes, they all got that wrong.
It wasn't corrected immediately.
Yep, it was actually.
They got it wrong. So the 40 beheaded babies, that was a lie.
It wasn't by Israel. That was a French reporter who got that wrong, and Israel was the one that corrected.
If you don't think Ben Shapiro is Israel, then that's okay.
You just said Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, yeah. Just like lots of people saw a reporter saying it, and they ran with it. And then when it turned out to be wrong, then they retracted it. And you guys, years later, are still saying, you see, the Jews, they spread their deception and propaganda.
The narrative that was a mainstream Zionist narrative at the time of October 7. Since then, the ratio of deaths on each side is 70 to 1. Says. You look like you do.
You said the Israeli government said it. If Ben Shapiro said that and got it wrong, then great, he's wrong.
I didn't say that.
I don't remember.
You said they. You meant.
I don't remember Ben Shapiro actually saying it. I don't think that Ben Shapiro actually ever shared that story. What Ben Shapiro did share, which he was very accurate with, was photos of an actual charred baby body that was found. That's what he shared, and that was completely authentic. I don't think he ever shared the whole 40 beheaded babies thing.
Well, I mean, the point is, even if he did, it would be he believed what people were saying at the time and turned out to be wrong. Guess what? That happens. I mentioned it's difficult to get the details right, even on a small, localized terrorist attack. You're talking about a bloodbath over a ton of area. Took a while to sort that thing out.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro, that's your argument?
I meant Jewish supremacists and Zionists as a whole, not the Israeli government, which you said.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Can we get back to what Israel did and how it's a genocide then? Not their lies that you think they did. Just why is it a genocide? Just tell me why it's a genocide.
I'm answering you to keep interrupting.
Got it. It's a genocide because Ben Shapiro lied about.
Wow, I can't answer the question. I can't answer the question.
Notice and I'm just going to fast forward to something else here, but notice everything Sneako is saying about why it's a genocide is not a genocide. And what is actually the definition of genocide, he doesn't even try to apply the actual definition. He doesn't.
Why are you getting angry?
It's just, isn't that like insane, man?
Why are you I was going to explain it. Why are you getting angry? You're not letting me explain it.
Good point. That's a good point. All right, we're going to fast forward here till a little past the 1 hour mark. Don't remember what this is, but I marked 104 starting.
Why you always get
You're
angry?
not letting.
I'm just trying to answer.
The one truth across his shirt. Sneako, you're the one truth.
Answer beyond one word. I was trying to answer.
War is a very.
You're correct. That's
answer.
A dumb answer because it's not the full answer. You're right. That's true, Sneako. Okay. When you cut people off after one word, it does kind of.
Because it's a people responsible for it. What people are responsible for?
Well, actually, that's not particularly true. I say it's a group. I wouldn't just say it's just a people.
What group of people?
So what I would say is who started the war. War causes these conditions. Let me say more. I can already tell you're about to interrupt. War causes these conditions in every urban warfare conflict in all of modern history. The fact that you think it's like some kind of specialty for just Gaza or Israel is laughable. So when you ask who started the war, very clearly, this war post-October 7th was started by Hamas and the collaborators of Hamas like the PIJ, PFLP, DFLP, Army of Islam, PRC, Mujahideen brigades, etc. So that's the full answer. I just needed to get to it. Go ahead.
They have been bombed, and we've started with 1948, and I'm very glad we started that.
Why did we start with 48? Why would you start with 48?
Because they've been kicked out of their homes because this does not start on October 7th. This has been
I agree it didn't start on October 7th.
This is when it was declared a war. You said that war was responsible. We have clarified in the beginning who started taking the land. Therefore, the people that moved in there was already a civilization. They are responsible for the war.
I actually agree. It didn't start on October 7th. It also didn't start in 1948. Mm-hmm. It started.
That's what Nick's going to point out.
It started in the 7th century.
Yep. And what really, really boggles the mind is it's a Muslim. A guy who follows a prophet who moved into Medina and then, according to his definition, genocided the Jewish population there, then went back and conquered Mecca, took it by force, conquered Arabia by force, and then they conquered their way east all the way to India, and they conquered their way west all the way across northern Africa up into Europe. And then they'll go, oh my goodness, they took a piece of land. Oh my goodness, you see, this proves it's genocide. They're evil. Like, gosh.
Okay,
they are the ones who started.
So when did the war start? You said 48?
Yes.
In 1936, when they targeted and slaughtered 510 Jews during the Third Jaffa riots, what was the reason for that if it didn't start till 48, Sneako? Can you answer that without deflecting?
We're talking about this land, these people.
It was literally, I'm talking about the exact same land, Sneako. I'm not talking.
I'm talking about this land and these people. He's talking about the same land and same people, Sneako. It's just years earlier than you think it started.
No, I mean this
literally
land.
No, this land.
Palestine. Why did they target and slaughter 510 Jews during the Third Jaffa riots? That was 12 years. Started 12 years before 1948. So you said, and I quote, it started in 1948. I wanted to make sure I heard you say that. So can you explain, without deflecting, can you explain why they did that?
No, we're talking about the states of Israel and Palestine.
Oh, so you want to purposely start it only on the convenient year for you, and you want to ignore everything before?
Because you will move. Wow. Because you are trying to talk about It's a conflict between two nations. So if we're going to talk about conflict between two nations,
Watch this,
because you're
watch this.
saying war is
I didn't say two
responsible,
nations.
then we have
Hamas is not a nation. That was a stupid point. That was a really stupid point.
right.
He burned him up. Guys, did you catch how he just burned him up? Right? So Sneako says this started in 1948. He's like, it didn't start in 1948. You can go, if it started in 1948, how do you explain this? And he brings up one example. How do you explain this? Which was before 1948. What do you do there? And he's like, no, I'm only talking about the state. We're just talking about the nations. And you go, oh, if you're just talking about nations, Hamas isn't a nation. So
There's no problem.
that's the thing. Sneako's just kind of making it up as he goes along.
Okay,
Never
that's,
said two
that's clearly
nations.
the resistance. That's the resistance.
Not of a
That's like saying
nation.
IDF
Not of a
isn't Israel.
nation.
That's like saying, okay, that's
The
as stupid
IDF
as saying
is
IDF
Israel.
not
What is
Israel.
Hamas?
It's a political organization that
Not
wasn't
of a
even majority
nation.
voted in.
Not of a nation.
According to you.
According to
These are
international
a
law,
people-
according to
Oh my
anyone
God.
that's
You
not
wanna keep
delusional.
keep on going about semantics. So you're saying that war is responsible, so it's between two groups of people.
Right.
Two
So answer my
states,
question about
two
36.
nations,
What was the
two regions.
reason? You notice how he won't answer it. Why, if you said it started in 48, what was the reason for slaughtering 510 Jews in 36? Why is that such a hard question to answer?
Seems
It's not a
reasonable
ridiculous question. You said it
Tell
started
me.
in 48.
Come on, answer the question, Sneako.
Tell me.
Well, they just wanted to.
Tell me.
Well, I can tell you it's because it isn't just about Zionism or Israel. It's about Jews. But you don't believe that, so I have to ask you. Don't ask me to answer for you. Just because you don't have an answer, why would I answer for you?
I'm answering your question. Between two groups of people, this could only be because you're going on about semantics and legal definitions. It started in 1948. This is when this conflict started.
Wow, how
This is
convenient
what
for
is
you.
the pretext for what happened on
How
October
convenient.
7th. It's not
So
convenient.
the Balfour Declaration.
I decided it started in 1948.
This is Dow.
Wasn't involved at all because that was in
This is child abuse.
Yep. It's pretty bad.
1917.
It did not come into action until 1948. Oh, that's a
Actually,
great
the
point.
Balfour
So maybe that
Declaration never came
Great.
into. Wait, stop! You just got something else wrong. The Balfour Declaration never applied because the Balfour Declaration was prior to 1921
Was a letter.
when the British, correct, the British created the Transjordan, the Emirate of Transjordan, in 1921. So the Balfour Declaration actually referred to all of today's Jordan and today's Israel, Palestine, whatever you want to call it. And they took 77, really 78% of the land, gave it to the Arabs, kicked out all the Jews, by the way, that lived there and legally owned land there, kicked them all out and said no Jews were allowed to migrate there. Ironically, Jews didn't seem to become fucking terrorists after that. They didn't start screaming. Actually, why is there no free Palestine movement in Jordan today? They took the Palestinian land. They don't call it Palestine. The governing power in Jordan are not Palestinians. Why is it that they don't call for a free Palestine? And we're not talking about a tiny portion. It's 78% of the entire land.
Isn't that interesting?
And apply his own standard there, as he just did very much. It's we have to start at 1948 because this is about two nations. Okay. I want to just add one thing here. Was there a nation in 1948 named Palestine?
There was
No,
never
there
a
wasn't.
there was never a nation called Palestine.
The first time that a nation named Palestine was officially declared was in 1988. That's when the PLO officially made the declaration of the establishment of the state of Palestine. Prior to 1988, so in 1948, there was no Palestinian nation at all. So it can't be between two nations. So his standard here does not apply. Also, if we're going to make it just about nations and therefore we have to start in 1948, then most of the land that Israel has today completely and fully belongs to Israel, and you can't call them colonizers, white colonizers, stolen land, whatever it is. You can't. There you go.
But now we need the protests for free Palestine from Jordan.
Okay, so now you went to Jordan. We went off of several different topics.
We
covered
don't have to go
October
to Jordan
7th.
if you want to answer about 36. That'd be great, since you deflected from that.
Right. So, I mean, Jews have been kicked out of land. They've been kicked out of 100
I don't know what that has to do with my
countries over
question. This is a
1,000
total deflection.
Right.
Why?
Did you catch this? Guys, he's saying, okay, if the problem started in 1948, how do you explain Muslims killing a bunch of Jews in 1936? What's up with that? And his response is, Jews have been kicked out of everywhere. Not an answer.
Did they, if it
It's not a
didn't
total
start...
deflection. This is a deflection. This is a separate subject.
If it didn't start until 48,
between...
then why did they kill Jews in 1936 if it had nothing to do with this conflict? Because you said it didn't start until 48. So please,
if you want to take, okay, but the reason it's a deflection, because if you want to talk about the expulsion of Jews, if you want to talk about the fact that they've been kicked out of countries,
I'm not talking about that at all. You're talking about that. I never mentioned that once. I said, why did they?
Separate from Israel and Palestine.
Literally talking about in Palestine, in the land in 1936, they slaughtered 500. How about this? 1929 in Hebron. Do you know where Hebron is, Sneako?
Yeah. But don't ask me.
Agree that's Palestine?
Separate conversation. So
it's the same thing. We're talking about the conflict. So in 1929,
you're saying 1936. Let's answer this one. You said 1936. So
you do want to answer it. So somebody finally gave you the answer. Okay. Cool. Let's hear it.
All right. You've been listening to.
I love how he says someone finally gave you the answer. He knows Sneako's waiting for someone to send him the answer.
I'm reading your thing.
I'm literally,
riots, and even then, it's reported
literally looking at the screen.
Yeah, it was riots, right? So people die in riots. There's always infiltration from different intelligence groups. And actually, Arabs defended the Jews in these riots.
Oh, really? That's why they slaughtered them. Interesting. Yeah. How about...
Sneako just said, Arabs defended the Jews. Nick replied, oh, so that's why they slaughtered them.
In 1929 in Hebron.
How do you blame that?
In 1929.
How do you say about the Arabs that were defending the Jews?
Yeah, so again... I'm telling you about what happened physically, right? This idea, whatever your friend sent you, is ridiculous. In 1929, they went to an anti-Zionist community. Ones that were so anti-Zionist that the Haganah went to go defend them, and they said, get out of here, you Zionists. They went to them, and they... Great. They went... Haganah? No, you're thinking maybe Irgun, but Haganah? What are you talking... Whatever, you're just trying to deflect. 1929, they went to an anti-Zionist community and slaughtered them. Why did they do that? I thought it was about Israel and Zionism. What was the purpose of slaughtering anti-Zionist Jews for?
Did you catch that, guys? The Muslims would even kill the anti-Zionists. You have Jews who are anti-Zionists. They're against Zionism. And the Muslims would kill them too. So if the issue is just Zionism, why were they killing the anti-Zionist Jews as well?
Well, the Arabs were defending. To call that a genocide is not equivalent to what's going on.
I didn't call that a genocide. I never called that a genocide. I don't even know why you said that. That was a stupid answer.
Applying this response completely to Arabs or Muslims is
I'm applying it specifically to you saying the conflict started in 48. I think it's very convenient to say it started. I think it's ridiculous when people say the whole conflict started on October 7th. It's stupid. It's dumb. Of course the conflict didn't start on October 7th. This specific context started on October 7th, but the conflict, of course it didn't. It's equally as stupid to say it started on this arbitrary date. It's ridiculous. You sound just as dumb. You sound just as dumb as people who say it started on October 7th.
Right.
Good point. Good point. Good point. So, you missed it, AP.
I didn't miss anything, I found.
Yep. But now we're about to, Sneako's about to, he doesn't like the way this is going, so he's about to switch to Epstein, and that leads right into Muhammad. Not in the sense.
Sound dumb. It's as stupid as somebody like you, a goyim, defending a state that would not exist
goyim
right
is plural, genius.
It would not,
just an FYI.
Yeah, okay, goyim.
Yeah. Sneako, you're like too dumb to even be a good racist, man.
You're such a dumb goyim.
Yeah, you goyim. Hey, Sneako, is this guy being a bad kafirs? Is he being a bad kafaroon?
You're a goy, whatever.
Nothing.
I'm glad you know it because you are one and you're one of the top
boys. It means nation in Hebrew.
Stupid.
I know, crazy.
There's nothing more stupid than somebody here who's defending a state that was using pedophile blackmail to get American politicians money. Right here. So who did Epstein work for? If you're going to say I'm stupid, you're here. Epstein
really wants to change the subject.
Really
did you guys catch that?
Sorry, unpopular opinion, but to this day there is no evidence for that at all.
Yeah, but I mean, just notice he was talking, the question is, why are you calling this a genocide? Why are you calling this a genocide? And everything he says, Nick points out that's not a genocide. Then they start going into history and so on, because Sneako argues that it was an ongoing genocide that started in 1948 with the Nakba and so on. And so this is where this is where it all started. And then the guy just crushes him on history. And so what does Sneako do? But what about Epstein? Why are you serving Epstein and the one he worked for? And that we're not going to spend much time on this, but it does go into Muhammad here for a moment.
Right. Can't just because you're going to talk about stupidity. There's nothing more stupid. There is nothing more stupid than a goy sitting here defending a state that allowed Epstein.
You're right. I should defend Muslims.
To rape children.
Okay. I guess I should defend Muslims.
Why are you supporting a state?
No, convince me. Tell me why I should defend Muslims.
No, I want to. No. Don't deflect now. Don't deflect now.
The guy that deflected.
Did you hear this? Nixon, the guy who just deflected. They were just talking about history, and it was a simple question. If you think all this conflict started in 1948, why were they killing Jews before that? And if you think it's just about Zionism, why were they also killing the anti-Zionists? Explain that, Sneako. Well, let's talk about Epstein. Okay, if we're going to talk about if I'm supposed to reject them because of Epstein, why would I be defending Muslims? Why should I do? Oh, you're trying to deflect. Are you kidding me?
Sneako, you are such a stupid nations.
You're such a dumb nations, man.
To Epstein doesn't want to deflect to his pedophile prophet. Wow, call me. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked. He deflected to Epstein when nobody brought up Epstein. But the second I brought up Islam, he's like, no, please don't deflect.
We can talk about that. We don't
have to. I just find that hilarious. I find that ironic as fuck.
There's nothing more hilarious than a goy defending a state.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, you've said that already. I got it. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm the best goy.
So let's talk about this. We'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. Let's talk about Epstein.
And it's totally crazy because I may have been called a goy at some point. I have no recollection of Jews calling me goy or anything. I have tons of Muslims calling me kafir and so on. But guess what? Muslims like Sneako love when all these idiot college students start defending Palestine. Well, what are you? What are these stupid college students according to Islam? They're a bunch of kafirs. And so imagine what Sneako, why don't you tell them how stupid they are, what idiots they are for defending people who call them kafirs, which they actually do. Anyway.
The funny thing is, goyim or goy is not
it's not an inherent insult. It could be used as an insult.
In the Talmud itself or otherwise, Jews use it to even positively refer to somebody who is not a Jew. Somebody who is a goy should be treated like this. The funniest thing about all of this is that it directly corresponds to in translation. The New Testament manuscripts that we have in the New Testament, we have the Greek, of course, and wherever in the New Testament it uses the word Gentile or Gentiles, you will see that in the Greek it is ethne or ethnikos, which is the direct translation of specifically that. You will find Jesus himself speaking of the Gentiles, or you will find Paul speaking of the Gentiles, because in Hebrew or even in Aramaic at their time, they would have probably still preserved the word goy or goyim for the nations, for the people. So you will open the New Testament and you will find Paul himself refer to Gentiles in a negative and a positive way. You will find Jesus refer to Gentiles in a negative and positive way, exactly as Jews refer to Gentiles, goy and goyim, in a negative and positive way. This is nothing unique about. If you have a problem with that, you should probably have a problem with Jesus and with Paul as well.
Yeah, Sneako, quit being such a dumb ethnoi.
Right now, who did Epstein work for?
So you're allowed to deflect to something else, but I can't deflect.
You don't want to talk about it?
It's not about wanting to talk about it. I just find it ironic when this whole time you keep saying I'm deflecting. You didn't even come close to answering any of my questions.
We went to October 7th. We went to your famine definition. We went to your starvation definition.
Keep embarrassing.
Who did Epstein work for?
Yeah, again, I this idea, Epstein was a disgusting piece of shit, just like the Prophet Muhammad. I think they're equally bad. I don't like pedophilia. Disgusting. If anyone's a pedophile, they should be castrated. Just so you know, Muhammad's Aisha was 4 to 5 years younger. 4 to 5 years younger than Epstein's youngest victim, and they're both equally disgusting. See how he doesn't want to? No. I don't want to talk about that, please. Mashallah, please.
I thought you were Hadith.
Oh gosh, he's burning Sneako up, man. But yeah, for like the next 40 minutes or something, it's Sneako going, "Who does Epstein work for?" and then trying to provide proof when the proof he gives is like proof in his mind. It's like, oh look, he met with this Israeli over and over again. Okay, he met with lots of people. He met with Bill Clinton. He met with Trump. He met with all kinds of people. Does that mean he's working for all these nations as for their intelligence agencies? Again, they have a completely different standard when anything is connected to any Jew in any way. It's the entire nation and the entire group, and anyone else they turn their reasoning ability on, and they don't argue like that.
First off, this is not confirmed and reliable
It's
hadith.
Sahih al-Bukhari 5133, narrated by Aisha herself. It says he married me when I was 6.
When Epstein, yeah.
Hold up,
Epstein's
he said
disgusting.
5133.
This is not part of the
Sahih
reliable
al-Bukhari.
hadith.
It's Sahih al-Bukhari, the most accepted hadiths in the world.
Make it so hot right now.
We haven't. You still haven't answered the question. I've answered every.
What'd you say, AP?
I want to point out the irony here, which is that you have the authenticated hadiths, right? Which Muslim scholars themselves deem entirely and completely authentic beyond question. That is what the Sahih collection is, and that is what the vast majority of the Sahih hadiths are. That's how they are graded. He himself, when it comes to the question of Muhammad's pedophilia, has a problem accepting the hadiths which Muslims deem absolutely authentic as reliable. He questions them and he kind of wants to reinterpret the wording, but he also wants to very, very clearly assert that Jeffrey Epstein most definitely worked for the state of Israel and was definitely on a mission to blackmail American politicians and American people and all that. And if you ask him for the evidence for that, there is actually no single evidence at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's like glaring hypocrisy, guys. There are over 200 hadiths that say that Muhammad had sex with Aisha when she was 9 years old. Majority of those are considered sahih. Those are as good as it gets in Islam. And Sneako, well, that's not confirmed. That's not proven. That's not confirmed. That none of that's confirmed. That's not confirmed. Well, what is confirmed? Oh, that Jeffrey Epstein was working for Israel to blackmail the United States into always fighting its wars for it and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, it's like completely shifting. When Sneako wants to believe something, he lowers the burden of proof to the floor. Anything counts as proof. When he doesn't want to believe in something, it doesn't matter. You can have 200 sources. Not proven, not confirmed. I backed it up a couple seconds because let's just let them finish this up with Muhammad.
Herself. It says he married me when I was...
Oh, hang on. He quoted Bukhari 5133. That's more interesting in the Darussalam edition because a lot of the hadiths on Sunnah.com, most of them, they don't include like a bunch of the chapter heading information and stuff like that. But if you go to the Darussalam edition, so he quoted 5133, but look at the chapter heading. Giving one's young children in marriage is permissible. Why? By virtue of the statement of Allah. And for those who have no monthly courses, i.e. they are still immature, Surah 65 verse 4. It's talking about divorcing girls who have no monthly course, no monthly menstrual cycle. Why? Because they are still immature. And the iddah, that's how long a girl has to wait if her husband divorces her. How long does she have to wait before the next guy can marry her? It says the iddah for the girl before puberty is 3 months. In other words, if a prepubescent girl who's never reached puberty, gets divorced, her husband divorces her, how long does that prepubescent girl have to wait before the next guy marries her? 3 months, according to the Quran, according to Allah in the Quran. And then as an example, 5133 narrated Aisha that the Prophet wrote the marriage contract with her when she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old, and then she remained with him for 9 years, i.e. till his death. That's the hadith that Nick was quoting there. But let's see.
When Epstein, yeah.
Epstein's disgusting.
Is not part of the
Sahih al-Bukhari. It's Sahih al-Bukhari, the most accepted hadiths in the world.
Isn't it crazy that, look.
But I don't accept it.
Yeah, it's Nick trying to educate Sneako about the reliability of Sahih al-Bukhari according to Sunni Islam. Guess what? Sheikh Asim al-Hakim would have said the exact same thing to him on this issue. Would have said the exact same thing. What? You're questioning? Get out of my house!
You're a kafir.
Get out of my house! You're a kafir. That's I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what he would say if he saw Sneako tossing out hundreds of hadiths just because he doesn't like them.
So hot right now.
You still haven't answered the question. I've answered every single one of your questions. You're going to hadith. You're going to your different things.
He said
Sneako just said he's answered all of his questions. What?
Sahih al-Bukhari is not accepted. That is insane. It's the most accepted hadith in the entire world.
It's not accepted as confirmed. Oh my goodness.
What does Sahih mean? What does Sahih mean? What does Sahih mean?
Answer the question before you keep deflecting. I answered all your questions. Who did Epstein work for?
Who did he
My
work
husband
for?
is so hot.
Yes.
I have no idea who he worked for.
You have no idea.
Okay, so guys, if you want to watch this long section on your own, it's Sneako trying to provide proof that Epstein was working for Israel to blackmail the U.S. government. And everything is like, but he met with this guy who was a Jew, and he met with this guy. And then Nick pointing out, following that reasoning, he met with all sorts of Arab leaders. He met with Russians. He met with all kinds of people. Why is it only when someone talks to a Jew that all of a sudden this is the proof of some connection to a nation? And then his other main point, which they spent a lot of time on, was Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Apparently did some sort of work for Mossad at some point, but later started blackmailing them and working for like Putin and stuff like that. And he's saying, "See, that's the connection. That was the connection." And Nick eventually shows by reading the stuff that Sneako's pointing him to, that the guy turned against Mossad before there was any connection to Epstein ever. In other words, by the time Epstein ever crossed paths with him in any way, or his daughter, this guy was no friend to Mossad. And somehow that was the connection. That's when Epstein started working for Mossad. And that's the proof. That guy's name's Maxwell, just like Ghislaine. And he had some connection. So that's the connection. Boom. Proof. 100% proof. What about these hundreds of hadiths saying Muhammad banged Aisha when she was 9? No, that's not confirmed. That's not confirmed. No. We don't know.
I can't confirm it.
You can't confirm it.
I guess. I'll answer my guess.
Okay,
I think he was I'm going to answer.
You have no
I
idea.
think.
Let's fast forward here.
I can't confirm or deny it.
Let's see. All right. I don't remember what I marked this for.
Nick, the current Secretary of Commerce under Trump right now, hovering over him, the guy who was absent, because they omitted that picture and you're using that website as a source. Like, oh, there's only one email, even though you also conceded that they haven't released the majority of the files. So you don't know what you're talking about. Again, they are hiding so much of this, and already from what they've released, there is so much conclusive evidence.
This is extreme cope. This is extreme cope. You're saying that.
This is not extreme cope.
Can you tell me how you got your information then?
It's been leaked.
It's been leaked. Oh wow, by who?
So many of these images have been leaked.
Sounds like Candace.
So this isn't.
Did you catch that? Did you hear it?
Sounds like Candace.
Yeah, the woman who's sort of commenting, I guess, running Nick's tech stuff. Says, sounds like Candace. What? How are you verifying this? It's been leaked. Watch, Nick is going to go into like, who leaked it? Who's the source? Why should we try? Who's the source? And Sneako just has no clue about any of this.
So you're saying this isn't from the Epstein files. This is by some other website that told you this is a real thing.
Did you catch that? It's not from the Epstein files. It's from some site that told him this has been leaked.
Is that what you're saying, Sneako?
Yes, the Department of Justice made errors in some of the names that were originally covered
You
up.
said this was from the Epstein files.
Yeah, you know whose name was
That's
originally
crazy.
redacted
I
from
love
the
this
Epstein
so
files?
much.
Can you do me a favor? Can you tell me who leaked it?
No, I can't. Do you want
Did you
to?
catch that? Who leaked it? We have no idea. But it was on a website. It was on a website.
I saw it on a website, I swear.
I saw it on a website. This is the proof. Okay, what about these 200 hadiths?
No, I saw it on a website.
Oh, yeah. This is what I mean, guys. It's and that's the parallel with Candace, right? So she just says he sounds like Candace. It's been leaked, right? It's Sneako and Candace are the same. They decide ahead of time what they want to believe, and then they go to the evidence and they make it say what they want. That's what they do. And so it's not the evidence showing them what to believe. They decide what they want to believe, and then they go, and anything that can be used, no matter how weak it is, it's suddenly proof. And anything that refutes them, well, that's a Jewish conspiracy. That's a Jewish conspiracy. Let me look up that. I always forget the name.
What name?
Every single time. I've read this story a ton of times. Anyway, Procrustes. That's what it reminds me of, guys. That's what it reminds me of. Candace and Sneako. So you had the myth of Procrustes. He was a demented innkeeper, and he had a bed that was a certain length. And so you'd come to check in for a room, and if you had to be exactly the right length you had to be the exact same length as the bed. If you were longer, he would start chopping parts of you off until you were the exact right length of the bed. And if you were too short, he would stretch you out. He had stretchers to stretch your body out until you die. You die either way. And so that's what they're like, but with evidence. It has to fit what I've decided ahead of time. And facts that don't fit, well, we just stretch them. And things that don't fit, well, we just start chopping those things off. That's what they sound like to me.
Easy.
They unredacted these files.
I wish I asked him that in the very beginning. That's hilarious.
You're
He just
clapping
straight
over
up.
what I'm explaining.
Yeah, because I realized you've been lying this whole time. I thought you were searching
I've been
the Epstein
lying.
files.
I am
You told
searching the
me
Epstein
you're
files.
searching some random
been
thing. That's
leaked.
why, by the way, he didn't want to show me. Because he didn't want to see that he was just reading from some fucking
because
website.
You're willfully looking
All
away because
right.
you don't want to admit that you're holding up the flag of a country that exists.
Right.
And then Sneako goes right back to, you're holding up, you've got a flag of a country that
now
calls
he's
you a
deflecting.
goyim. He calls you
He's
a goyim.
Now he's deflecting like a stupid goyim.
Yeah. Anyway, not a whole lot left I want to cover. There was this point right here.
What a goyim!
After their long discussion and so on, and he's like, and he met with this guy, and then, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, at one point did some sort of work for Mossad before he turned against them and so on. And here, I think it's right after this where Nick finds, okay, how does this show? How does this show that he worked for Israel?
Was released and then it was omitted. That's the whole point.
And then you said they
It was
re-released it, right? Did you not just say that?
And then the article says it was omitted. So it was released on the website and then they omitted it. Dum dum. That's the
This
whole
article?
point. The photo exists now.
This article?
The photo exists now.
Yeah, this article?
There's many.
Right.
That's not the one I was reading. There's many.
You said CBS News. Photo of Lutnick on Epstein's Island. Right? That one? Yeah, this is the one you were reading. I can tell on your face. Yeah, definitely not in the files. That's crazy.
I hope everyone can see this, right? Can everyone type of one if you can see that instead of having a conversation about how
Really,
Epstein
this is
clearly
better
worked for
than
Israel,
porn.
he's saying, you said leak, not removed.
Everywhere.
You said restore. It's restored, not leaked. It's like the
stuttering.
snakiest.
Stuttering now.
It's the
This is crazy.
snakiest.
This is
I've
his
never seen
topic,
somebody
by the
talk
way.
like this
He
because it's the
chose
most disingenuous conversation I've ever seen. Instead of
This
just saying what's
dude
clear,
is
oh, you
fucking
said leaked,
crashing
but you really
out.
meant
Because
restored.
he didn't want to
You
talk
said it
Israel
wasn't
Palestine.
trustworthy
That's
because
why.
you were putting evidence. It's just You're just trying to go to
Are you still
semantics the
stuttering?
entire
No.
conversation.
Dude,
Nobody's stuttering. You're the
you literally were
nobody's
stuttering.
Everybody's seeing you what you're doing. Everybody's seeing these
Listen,
snaky tactics.
I don't
okay,
like.
let's come back now. Now
just-
that I provided evidence,
I
Howard
don't
Lutnick, Jewish
like-
scientist,
yeah.
next door neighbor to Jeffrey
I
Epstein.
don't see
in
why
the
that
Epstein
matters.
files,
What
he's the
does this have
Secretary
to
of State. You
do?
don't
What
see
does
why
this
it
have to
matters.
do with the Israeli government? Like, yes, I agree. There are a
Did
lot of officials.
Epstein
I
work
got you.
For Israel. Did Epstein work for Israel?
Again,
This is the point. Nothing you said showed that Epstein worked for Israel. Nothing.
Why are you fact checking me?
You say, oh, he knew this Jew and he knew that Jew and he met with this official. Okay, what does any of that have to do with him working for Israel? And in Sneako's mind, well, it's just clear proof. If he met with an official and he talked to this Jew, and it's just obvious. Okay, he met with all these officials in the U.S. and all these officials in Europe and all these officials, Muslim officials and so on. What's that mean? Oh, that's nothing. That's just nothing at all.
Then who was he working for?
Yeah, does that mean he's working for the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia?
So you're saying he's working for Palestine? What's wrong with you? How could that be true?
you have done an awful job at proving any of this.
I've answered all of your questions.
You
can't
haven't.
answer
So
very
I'm trying to. I'd
the
be
best
more than
question.
glad to answer.
Did
Can you tell me
Epstein
how?
work for
Just one more
Israel?
question. Can you tell me how any of this means he worked for like all of Israel? Can you tell me? I agree he had relationships with people in Israel.
All of Israel?
Of course.
Wait, again, semantics.
No, not
Nobody
literally.
Said all of
Yeah,
Israel.
now Sneako goes on with this because he said all of Israel. What he means is the nation of Israel. You're working for the government, like the nation. You're working for the whole nation and not just for, some guy that you happen to work with.
The occult
This is
incredible.
insane. Not literally the word.
All of Israel.
He's yelling over me
Israel.
again because he doesn't
He
want me
works
to explain.
For Israel.
Right. Are
Because
you
these men
saying?
are so
Right. I got you.
You know what's funny?
It's so
Uh,
the
You know what's funny? In Israel itself, the whole discussion about Epstein is a very big one right now, or has been actually for many years. And Benjamin Netanyahu himself is one of the main ones who has been attacking, and by attacking, I don't mean it in any way, in any negative way. He has been attacking certain people like Ehud Barak, who is abundantly mentioned in the Epstein files. And he and his government have been accusing them of working together with Epstein. So inside Israel, the current government and the very same guy who is being accused of carrying out a genocide that Sneako is against, and Sneako doesn't want anybody supporting him, that very same guy is brutally going after Ehud Barak, who is the former prime minister, and accusing him of having had ties to Jeffrey Epstein. So you see what I mean here. This is so incredibly stupid. And within Israel, this is a very, very big thing, that there is a scandal and that somebody in the government had ties, but it was not the country itself, and certainly not to the current government.
And so, guys, that's the problem. Anyone connected to the government has anything to do with Epstein. This is proof that he's working for the government. Okay, well, I mean, does him being pals with multiple presidents of the United States and so on and meeting with them, does that mean that he's working for the U.S. government? No. Does him meeting with Arab leaders, does that mean he's working for them? No. But if it's a Jew, then you connect it to the whole nation, right? Yes, yes. And look at Sneako's face. Oh, you don't see it. Oh, it's so obvious.
Hope is
You're a
insane.
Jew.
He yells over you when he doesn't want to hear the whole sentence. I'm not literally saying all of Israel like.
Just answer the
I'm
question.
asking a question.
It's a
I'm
yes or no
asking
question.
one question.
It's a yes or no
All
question.
right. He doesn't want to hear it
It's a
because he
yes or
knows
no.
he's losing.
It's
I'm
a yes or no
asking
question.
you,
Did Epstein work for Israel?
based off of what you gave me, no, definitely not.
No. Based off of what you said, no.
Not
We
even
need more
close.
evidence.
You have done an awful
You need
job
more evidence.
at
Okay.
describing. So can
Now,
I ask a
okay,
question
so
now? Can I
you
ask
want
a
even
question?
more.
He
You
doesn't
want
want.
picture-
He doesn't want to
You
hear
saw-
it.
No.
You're
because this is the
asking
most
me.
retarded
You're
look I've ever seen in
asking
my
me.
life.
He's
Do you
still.
see Epstein
He's
wearing an IDF
crashing
shirt?
out.
Did you see him wearing an IDF shirt in the Epstein? You see that
Are you
picture?
talking about the one on
Would
the
that be enough
plane that
for
was
you?
debunked?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was debunked,
debunked?
dude. Yeah, it was. It was.
that's a
It
fake
wasn't actually
photo?
even AI.
Yeah. Now they go into. Now they
And
go
what about the
into.
shirt?
Yeah. Now they go into a picture. Some people say it was photoshopped. and others think it's authentic, but he was on a plane and he had an IDF shirt on. And see, this means he worked for the Israeli government, even though they literally sell those in every shop that you walk by in Jerusalem.
You know what?
Hey, AP, it's the same IDF shirts that they sell in every shop as you're walking down the street. And he was wearing one. And then you see, don't you have one of those?
Yes.
Yeah, AP has the same shirt. You see?
Well, that means I work for Israel.
That does. Don't let Sneako see you in that.
What's funny? What the Epstein files do actually say is, and we only know this after the Epstein files have been released, we actually do have multiple emails and correspondences where Jeffrey Epstein says that he really doesn't like Israel. It is in the files where Jeffrey Epstein says that he doesn't like Israel.
You should put those together and then and use that, and then they'll all start liking Jeffrey Epstein. you tell them, guys, you got to pick a side: Jeffrey Epstein or Israel. Which
so
side
therefore, if the Jeffrey Epstein files actually prove any such thing, then we have to conclude that Jeffrey Epstein really didn't like Israel. So basically, he was on your side, guys.
You heard it here, folks. Sneako and Jeffrey Epstein are on the same side of the Diddy line.
And you worship a
Oh, I get way more
pedophile.
than that. I get 10K. I get 10K a post, actually.
Tell him he worships
From
a
Israel?
pedophile. How does he feel about that?
See, there's only one person
You
that
get paid-
worships a
do you
pedophile.
get
I get
paid from
paid
Israel?
$10,000 a post. No, actually $20,000. Tell your followers that. $20,000 a post straight from Bibi Netanyahu to my bank account. So can I ask my question
was that
now?
your attempt at humor? You should stick to the
No, it wasn't
semantics.
humor.
It's not funny
Totally
at all.
true. 100% true. Anyways,
You
so
get,
back
you
to
get, wait, so you're being honest right now? You're being
$20,000
honest
a
and you're getting
post.
paid-
$20,000 a post.
Like I was totally dead, man. $20,000 a post, yes.
So you are a goy slave.
Yep. That's it. Actually says that on the check. Goy slave, $20,000.
Okay, so you're not funny. You're trying to joke around. Stick to the semantics
can
conversation.
totally- okay,
You are
sure.
the most unfunny, zesty Epstein show I've ever
Not
seen.
laughing. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Are you asking me?
No. Back
Right?
to what
if
I
it
was
was
saying.
an official,
He was
are you
funded by
asking if it
billionaire
was an
Zionists.
official source by Israel, like they did some kind of program, or are you saying did he have relationships with people in Israel, including like Ehud Barak, etc.?
There you
Is
go.
that
If
your
you're saying, was he connected to people in Israel? I'd say yes. If you're saying, was he working for the government? I'd have to see more evidence than he was talking to this guy and he was talking to that guy, because he was talking to everyone. He's talking to all kinds of people, guys. All right, well, let's go ahead and skip to.
He actually had a whole thing of trying to meet every respectable and known person out there that he could meet, which is why he has like random photos with all kinds of different people, including the religious leaders and all that. And people can use those photos to be like, look, your guy is evil because there's a photo with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, he has a photo with Pope John Paul II, and I've seen people use that, like, which is like a ridiculous.
People use it
ridiculous
against
thing.
Pierce Morgan all the time.
Yeah,
And Pierce is a dope in all kinds of ways, but I have no reason to think that Pierce was involved in any of the Epstein stuff. He took a picture. No, it was a picture with I think Ghislaine. All right, guys. So this is
Nobody who knows that Pope would in any way try to, whether you like the papacy or not, especially that Pope would make would make such a dumb connection. But there is a photo for it, which is why if you want to go with that, you could totally make that connection. That's just how the guy was.
all right, guys. So we're skipping to the end, the last couple minutes. This is where Sneako rage quits when Nick starts quoting the Quran.
It's comparable to Epstein because they like to do these.
I
sex
didn't
parties,
say he
right?
was comparable to Epstein, by the way. He's not comparable.
The difference. Diddy was not funded by Jewish
I can't
Zionists.
fucking speak
Epstein
English.
was. Epstein was
I
funded by
literally,
Jewish Zionists.
Diddy is irrelevant to this at all. It had nothing to do with
brought it
talking
up.
about
You brought it up.
not to say he was
You brought it
comparable to Epstein. I said that when people deify themselves, they do awful things. Did you not hear that part, or are you just like ignoring it? You're Diddy, and you got like all
That's
excited.
why it's not different.
Little
No,
Muhammad,
because
Muhammad I got excited. He's like, ooh,
you worship a pedophile country, and you're shilling for people that want to.
Well, I guess we're the same. I guess we're the same then. We both worship pedophiles. That's crazy.
I only serve God. You worship shekels, and you're covering for pedophiles. It's embarrassing.
Great. So can I get back to as if I didn't say? Oh, he's still going.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Literally
Don't run.
never
Don't run
said Diddy was
There's nothing more
comparable.
important.
I never
Why are you
said
running?
Diddy. I
Why are
never
you running?
said Diddy was
Now he's imitating Muhammad Hijab going, why are you running?
comparable to Epstein. You are
was
making this
funded
up because you
by
don't want to
Leon
get
Black.
debunked. So you're going off of this
Semantics.
Diddy thing now.
This is bad faith. Should I skip this guy? Type of one in the chat if I should skip.
He
because
wants to
this is-
skip.
this is incredible.
Yeah, you should skip.
If you can't answer the question.
Oh, hey. I gotta skip to the end here, but we have Nick Matau, who says, "Oh snap, this is me. I just happened to see it on my timeline. By the way, AP, you and I met at what's SAS at Turning Point? Student Action Summit or something like that.
Yes.
Back
Did we?
in
We
June
did.
last year.
We did. Okay. That's
Hey.
funny.
Hey Nick, we're gonna be wrapping up here in a few minutes, Nick. But if you want to jump in, you can jump in, man.
Very, very nice. I like how you handle yourself, Nick. I like how you handle somebody like this. Lots of people do try debates and all that, but it's difficult to do in the moment, even when it's like a giant man-child like Sneako. But you handled him perfectly, I have to say.
Yeah, you're crushing him the entire time and exposing his entire approach. But all right, let's let this continue.
He's running.
He was funded by Leon
Anyway,
Black and
so
Leslie
back
Wexler.
to-
Yes.
right,
You want to run from this question?
okay.
Look at him run.
I want to
Look at him run. Do
finish
you
what
wanna
I was
answer this or
saying
not?
when you started interrupting me. That's what I want to. I want to just finish what I was saying.
Was he financed by Leon Black and Leslie Wexler?
God,
Jewish
this is
Zionists?
insane. What's your new
Was he financed by
deflection?
Leon Black and Leslie Wexler? That's not. Can you answer the question? Was he
I
financed by Jewish
assume based
Zionists?
off of what you
Was he
said,
funded-
that's true.
was he
Yes.
You assume, or you could look it up and
Well,
find the
I'm
evidence
just going
for
to assume
yourself.
you're telling the truth. So yes.
So you're not going to look this up for yourself. Also, you can click right
I
here.
just
The photo that
said
you
yes.
The photo that you said was Photoshop of him wearing an IDF shirt. That has been confirmed by Telegraph UK. So here he is on a plane.
Did he
This is
just say
not a Photoshop
Telegraph?
photo.
Oh my fucking god! First off, it wasn't confirmed by Telegraph, genius. Telegraph was the first one to release it based off of the Butler.
One of the news sources.
It was
It's one of the
no,
news sources.
Oh my god!
Again,
no, it's not.
okay, you love semantics.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
See,
You're so dumb. Telegraph
know-
was the
you-
first
you
one to
don't
release
know.
it. Telegraph was the
You don't
first
know
one
that-
to release it, genius. Holy
Okay, so
shit!
more-
Whoever's texting you this information, you need to tell them they're fired. Tell them they're fired. Telegraph's the one that released it for the first time. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Holy shit. Anyways, back
this
to what I was
is
saying.
how these people win. This is how they.
I
they
just
try
want to finish what I was saying. You're the one that deflected to Epstein in the first place.
Answering very clear things.
Oh my god.
Epstein was funded by Jewish billionaires. Look it up for yourself. It's all over the DOJ. Was funded by Leslie Wexler. He's a Jewish
Anyways, you
Zionist.
guys, just so you know,
If
this is the Telegraph group he's talking about, the UK site. This was the
If
first
this
one
was
to
just for
post
power-
it. Just FYI.
Just straight deceiving and lying.
Bro, I'm
and
the one
deflecting.
that allowed
I
you to
know
deflect to
that-
Epstein.
Oh, Nick says, don't know how to jump in. Where can I send you a link?
Probably Twitter. Twitter.
Oh, okay. Let me run over to Twitter real quick, guys. I will send Nick the link. Talk about something, AP. I'm pretty
I don't
bad at
talk about-
technology, man.
I don't talk about things. So send me the link and I'll send it to him, man. I have it in my. I follow him.
It's the same link I just sent you to join the show. So why would I need to send you the link?
That's true.
Yeah, you literally had to click on the same link.
Nick, I'm sending it to you now. We already messaged, so I am sending it to you right now and sent. Okay.
All right. And we're almost done here. Let's check it out.
And now that I'm trying to
Allow me
answer,
deflect. This is a conversation.
It
Israel
wasn't.
would not have the power it is today without Epstein.
it
You would not be
really,
holding that
again,
flag up if
this
not
video will be
pedophile.
released and it'll show
There
the
is no
prime.
Israel.
All right.
Yeah. You're
Cool.
trying to edit it up too, huh? Yeah, release it just like this too. Don't do
I have no fucking problem.
Les Wexner.
No problem whatsoever.
Don't do it like
I
this.
promise you,
Don't
the
do
whole
any
thing
editing.
will be on Epps.
Show it
The
like this.
whole thing.
Show it
Whole
like
thing
this.
will be up
And
there.
YouTube comments
Mhm.
right now. Right, if you're seeing this part of the debate, you see how he's running away from the fact that Leslie Wexner, a Jewish Zionist, funded him.
Literally
He said
said
here in
yes.
this conversation, he said,
I think a bunch of people funded him. You zero in on the Jew and say, therefore Israel. Right? Again, that's the issue, right? Jew. If Jew, then Israel.
two things that you need to remember from this conversation. He does not think that Epstein worked for Israel, and he does not think that Epstein Island was a blackmail operation. This is who you're listening
didn't
to.
say any of
This is somebody covering up for the most evil island that the world has ever seen. Left, right, he's going to try to
shaking.
take
Look at his hand.
forever.
Do this.
Nobody,
Look at his hand.
Nobody could defend this. Nobody could defend this. This is who was pushing.
It's crazy. He said the most evil island ever. My goodness. Read about Allah's paradise. Yes, you can't call it an island, but Islamic paradise makes Epstein Island look like a total joke.
These lies, these types of people running cover for
Maybe
Epstein.
take it back to
The victims have
Muhammad.
not been vindicated yet. They've been lying about them. They've been covering it up. They haven't released the files, and now we're at war with Iran. The people are covering up these files.
Here he goes, guys. Sneako's running his mouth. Look, Nick's going for the Quran. He's about to quote the Quran. This is where Sneako rage quits as soon as he starts quoting the Quran.
Brought us into war with Iran for Israel, which would not exist without the pedophile blackmail.
As for those
that this
among
guy's
your
doing.
women who have a he skipped.
You guys, that's the end of the video there, guys. But yeah, that's just crazy. He pulls out the Quran, starts reading Surah 65, verse 4, which is we read a portion of it in when we read the hadith from the chapter heading from Sahih al-Bukhari 5133, and he starts reading the Quran, because keep in mind, Sneako just threw the hadith under the bus earlier, threw Aisha under the bus, threw everything under the bus. It's not been proven. None of that's been confirmed. So Nick quotes the Quran, a Quran verse that tells Muslim men how long they have to wait after a prepubescent girl has been divorced before they can marry her, the prepubescent girl. And they're told you have to wait 3 months. So after her former husband divorces her, prepubescent girl, you have to wait 3 months before you marry this prepubescent girl. That's what he starts quoting. So we'll go ahead and watch that one more time here.
Yet they've been lying about them. They've been covering it up. They haven't released the files, and now we're at war with Iran. The people are covering up these files. They brought us into war with Iran for Israel, which would not exist without the pedophile blackmail.
As for those
that this
among
guy's
your
doing.
women who have a he skipped.
Oh, man. So that was the end. Sneako does not like hearing the Quran. Why? Because, you point out, hey, look at your prophet, man. Your prophet had sex with a 9-year-old girl. Oh, I don't believe that. Okay, your God says it's fine. So even if your prophet didn't do it, your God says it's fine. Crazy, 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 weird stuff going on here, guys. Anyway, let's check these super chats. Out. Let's see. Any updates on 100 ways to respect the Quran? No update. We've got the draft ready. I have to record some voiceover. There's just some other stuff I've been working on. We need some Dawa guy to really tick me off, man. Need a Dawa guy to cross a serious line. Then I'll just stay up all night and finish it. Maybe Palestine needs better tech. Wait, they can't. Of course they can. They're tech masterminds. Iranian female football team refused to respect flag. Iran said when they returned, they were going to be punished. They signed language to the Australian government to help, but they are sending them back. That would be seriously screwed up. I just know 72-1. Oh, this is from earlier when we were talking about the ratios. The 70-1. But yeah, we have this 72-1. You also have the 30-1 if you want to talk about the Night of Al-Zut. That was a 30-1 ratio. It's 30 Al-Zut to 1 Muhammad. Then we've got Sneako trying to gish gallop, but his brain is too small. Yep, Sneako's got some problems. Let's see here. I think we get Nick. Yo.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was trying to join on Google Chrome, but I don't know. It hates me right now. It's like error. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just join on my phone.
Hey, what are you doing with those flags? What's up with those flags?
Yeah, I know, right? How dare I? And I also had my best friend's face right over here, too. He didn't ask about that, but whatever.
Funny. Yeah, well, so I saw multiple clips over the past few days circulating on X. So that's and then someone brought it up yesterday, and then we watched Sneako rage quit last night on AP's stream, and then we said we need to just go ahead and watch more of this.
Awesome. Yeah, no, me and AP, it was really quick, so I don't blame him for not really remembering. It was, I went up to him because I've been watching AP for years now, and one of the very first videos before I ever even got into reading the Quran, I've read it twice now, but before I ever did was AP's video on the scientific mistakes on the Quran or in the Quran, and I remember watching that. I was like, I need to read. Yeah, that one. I watched the whole thing, and sometimes I'll go on long drives for my job, and I'll listen to it every once in a while because I really like going back to it, and I was like, you know what, I need to look more into this because I started kind of debating the Quran. It naturally comes up when you talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict. People love to bring up Islam. And then I remember, this was years ago. Now I've read a lot since then. But years ago, they'd be like, you can't criticize Islam unless you've actually taken the time to read it. I'm like, you know what, fair enough. Let me read it. And I realized it was awful. And then I was like, maybe I should read it again, read it a second time. And then I realized I was wrong. It was really, really awful. And then I read the Hadiths.
So you've just watching that debate with Sneako, obvious that you've been studying this stuff for a while. So was this like before October 7th or after, or you and I'm assuming you've been debating this regularly by the looks of things.
I've been talking about specifically Israel-Palestine conflict for about 5 years now. And I have the largest pro-Israel lives on TikTok. It's not a place that's a good place. It's a toxic place. TikTok's awful. And that's why I thought I should stay there. Been banned probably 20 plus times. And I just kind of kept coming back. I was in the U.S. military for about 12 years. And even I got out in 2023. So even before that, back in 2021 till today, I've been debating conservative politics, Israel-Palestine, and then the past 2 years, I've been debating Islam. And not so much like the mistakes and the stuff, because I tell them all the time, like, look, you believe your prophet split a moon in half and flew a donkey over to this place, whatever. I just debate mostly about the immorality of it and how those actions actually incorporate today. And because a lot of the times they love to say, well, if you misquote the Christian Bible in this way, or if you misquote what the Talmud or the Tanakh say, and I'm like, look, first off, you're wrong. And I explained to why you're wrong. But I'm also kind of like, I don't care if you can give me some example from this many hundreds of years ago, if not longer. I'm talking about what's happening right now. And so, yeah, I've been debating Israel-Palestine for a very long time, obviously. And I agree with what you said earlier in the live. I've been even telling people, look, I am good at this. I know a lot about it. I've studied extensively, but beating Sneako does not mean you're good at this at all. Anybody can beat that guy. Honestly, when he did the part in the debate where he didn't know what UNRWA was, where he was like, I'm reading UNR. I'm like, dude, you're worse than some of these just average people I have that just come up on TikTok. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it seems all of these guys, they basically they get down their talking points that work really good with their fans and that their fans cheer for, and their chants go, wow, so brilliant. Oh, what a slam dunk. And then they try it on someone who actually knows what they're talking about, and it doesn't work. And then, yeah, they're just kind of get exposed. And what I always wonder when this happens is like, how does that not cause you to go and reevaluate some positions? Like how? Like if you're like, oh, yeah, I've been using this point for the past 3 years and stuff, and oh, this is airtight, and then, oh, really? Well, what about this? And you have no clue, and it never affects them. Like, you know, like. If you catch another discussion with Sneako on the same topic 5 days from now, he'll use the same points no matter how much you destroyed them.
Exactly. And that's what they all do. See, I'm not perfect. And honestly, when you start to learn something a lot, you start to get to a point where you realize you really don't know a lot. And that's how I feel. Everyone's like, man, you know more about this topic than anyone. And it's just like, I'm over here like, well, now I know what I don't know. And so they're not like that. They will get debunked and they won't reevaluate, if not their position, at least just to go research more. They won't do that. They'll just go into the next live stream and they'll just say the same exact thing again. Whereas when I've been told, hey, Nick, this isn't particularly right, I'm like, okay, fair enough. And I go back and I'll look at it again and I will either reevaluate my position on that specific thing, or I will actually find out maybe I was right and now I have more sources to back that up. They don't do that. And I think the thing about debating, there's even a lot of people in the pro-Israel space that I think fall way too much into being on the defensive. And so I like to just say straight up, like, yeah, so what? Like when he asked me about, I don't remember exactly what I said, when he was like, are you okay with this famine? I could have went down the rabbit hole of like, well, it's not really this because of this and these sources and the IPC report. And I kind of said it a bit, but in the end, I'm just like, yeah, that's war, Sneako. But we have to look at what started it. I'm not going to answer this question that removes all context from the situation. I think more pro-Israeli debaters need to do that. You don't need to defend every single little thing. Sometimes you also just need to either add context or go on the offense.
And even on issues like that, where you're pointing out that this is. So guys, we didn't. I don't think we watched this section, but it was where Sneako's trying to explain that it's a genocide, and he's pointing out that there have been starving people, and then they have a discussion about what actually starvation is, and Nick points out actually, but when you get to the point where your body's actually feeding off itself and so on, and how many people, according to like the Hamas leaders, actually died of starvation? You say it was like 400 or something?
I think the last number I saw from their data reports was 412. I might be off by a little bit, but it's give or take.
Yeah. So when you're saying, oh, see, that's a genocide, and that's why we need to be like seriously, massively against this, and we need to expose all this, like, I mean, I just think of stuff like this. So this is a study, and this is just one example, but it's like, how far do you have to go to see the impact of like wars and stuff like that on this kind of stuff? So this is a study about the use of starvation by warring parties in Yemen, and it's both sides. Both sides are deliberately causing starvation in order to weaken their enemies and to win. So you've got the executive summary here. Just read a little bit. In Yemen, parties to the conflict have deprived civilians of objects that are essential to their survival. OIS starving them, in some cases to death. When asked about the impacts that warring party attacks and other conduct have had on their lives, people across Yemen describe dire effects on food sources, water sources, and critical civilian infrastructure. And after the Saudi and United Arab Emirates-led coalition started bombing artisanal fishermen in the waters off Al Hudaydah, one woman said her son was no longer able to go fishing. They decided to flee, fearing they would either die from starvation or that a Saudi aircraft would kill them. The sea meant everything to the community, but had become a place of fear. Some fishermen. Anyway, it goes on. So it talks about people not being able to fish and so on. Then it talks about these guys setting mines everywhere. So they set mines all over the place, but now you can't go out. Now people can't go out to farm. They can't go out to farm because there are mines everywhere and they're blowing people up and so on. And it's all these things. And then they destroy water sources and so on. Let's see. In Part G, we document airstrikes by the Saudi UAE-led coalition on farms in Abs district and Hajjah Governorate, on water facilities in the Sahar and Kataf. But yeah, destroying water supplies and so on. Anyway, the point here is it's not what's called whataboutism. It's where you point out a problem. You say, but there's this other thing you could point to. It's not that. It's if you guys actually believe that this is the definition of genocide here, there's genocide all over the place according to your definitions, all over the place. And when it's Muslims doing it, you have zero objection. When it's Muslims versus Muslims and both sides are doing it, you have zero problem. And it's just like, it's just whenever it's Israel or Jews, they completely change their standard and their meanings of everything, like clockwork.
Right. Yeah, and it's interesting actually. If you read the IPC report, which I am a little ashamed to admit, but I read the entire 80 to 90 page report, and when you actually look into the information, the Muslims are using, they've shifted their style a bit. They're utilizing and infiltrating these international communities so that way they can have some kind of legitimacy. And you read the IPC report, even when they look at these standards that are required to label phase 5 starvation, to put it lightly, or to put it in layman's terms, essentially the information they use barely met the threshold. And then you look into where they get the numbers from. MFM, UNRWA, Al Jazeera. These are the people that gave, the IPC didn't go into Gaza and actually take these measurements. They just got the information. And then when you look further into it, the Palestinian data set, they actually purposely threw out a larger data set because it didn't meet the threshold for starvation. It was actually too low. So they took a partial data set, most of it coming from UNRWA, and it barely met by 1% the threshold for them to technically label at least Gaza Governorate, which is just 1/5 of the part of Gaza, at least able to label that as a starvation. And it's insane. And people, all they see is UN, IPC, but nobody's actually going to look into this. And then people believe it because it has some legitimacy.
Nick, good to meet you, by the way.
You already met him.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
nice to meet you. It was quick. It was very, very quick. I literally went up to him. I was like, love your stuff. And then that was pretty much it.
I do remember you. That's why you look so familiar. But good to meet you. I want to ask you a question. Why do you have the flag of Israel behind you? Are you a Jew?
I already did that, man.
Come on. Man.
Yeah, no, not Jewish. Next question. Why would you support Israel if you're Jewish? You know what? When I connected with Sneako, because what happened was, he says I stream sniped him. It's not particularly true. It's half true, I guess. But somebody just said, because I go on my lives and I go on Umingle, Omi TV when people don't come up. Someone was in my comments, Nick, Sneako's on Omi TV. Maybe you'll connect with him. And I'm like, yeah, I doubt it. And I was just going through. I was like, look, if I connect with him, I do. If I don't, I don't. And then when I did connect with him, I just got a little shocked. So I definitely wasn't nervous because, again, he's just not smart. I've never seen him debate ever, but I know enough. And so I'm like, kind of at first just trying to be a little respectful and cordial. And very start of the debate, he was just like, why don't you support Israel if you're not Jewish? And I'm like, what a stupid point. And then from that point on, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to lock in and just destroy you now.
Now, was he already talking about that, or that's just was he talking about something else and then he saw the flag and then went off on that?
No, I told him I would do the whole thing, unedit it. I literally just cut off the beginning because I have a block on TikTok, because it's on Omi TV. If somebody shows something, I have it blocked, and then I immediately unblock it once I realize it's a normal person. So other than that little half a second, that's the start of the conversation. That's what was funny, is he had the audacity to be like, if you post this, you better be unedited. I'm like, what part of this do you think I need to edit, dude? What exactly do you think happened in your mind? Do you think you won this?
All his, you thought you might cut out all his powerful evidence from Robert Maxwell.
Humiliated you.
You know what's the interesting thing about the Epstein files is just, and one of his own supporters was like, you know what, I got to be honest, I love you, Sneako. It's like, but Nick is having the more reasonable part here. that this guy was a financial advisor. He had a lot of powerful connections, including with some Israelis, some Americans, Russians, European powers, Arab leaders, not to mention he had pieces of the Kaaba sent to him, the Kaaba cloth, excuse me. And so my position is just like, look, nobody in the world has read all of the Epstein files. This is what people do. At very, very best, they run it through an AI system, and if there's someone like Ian Carroll, they go, find me everything about Israel or Jews. And then if somebody's on our side, they might say, find me everything about, Islam or Muslims or Arabs, and so on and so on. If you're a leftist, find me everything about Trump. Nobody's read all of it. It's too much. And so this idea where he comes up to me and he's just like, oh, it's proven, and he starts saying things that I really love. I wish I read his source earlier. I was kind of waiting a bit, because it ends up debunking him, or at least, challenging his narrative. And he's like, no, don't read too far. Just the headline. Don't read too far.
We caught that.
And it's
part.
like, dude, look, yeah,
just the headline.
Any person can just be like, well, I found these specific things. They might not even be true. They might even actually be from the Epstein files, but I found them. And you can just, vomit out all this stuff, whether you're talking about Trump, whether you're talking about Islam, whether you're talking about Jews, Israel, whatever. And my position is like, yeah, look, he's an awful person. And then I didn't even know Sneako said this, because, again, I've never seen him debate. People have been flooding my inbox and comments with him when I guess he was debating somebody else, talking about how the age of consent, talking about that and how it should just actually be young girls and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, I wish I knew that at the time, because that guy has no leg to stand on whatsoever. But, of course, I brought up Islam because I'm like, dude, you worship this pedophile. And then, ironically, they come up and they always say the same thing. Well, in America, the age of consent was, I don't remember thinking any of those peoples were prophets. Yeah. I don't remember thinking that they're the most perfect man to ever exist. What argument is that?
Yeah, no one, yeah, and they'll say, King so-and-so. And it's like, I've never heard one person in my life say that he is the standard of conduct that we all have to imitate. That's exactly what the Quran says in Surah 33, verse 21 about Muhammad, that he's the pattern of conduct for Muslims to imitate. So if that guy had sex with a prepubescent 9-year-old girl, seems like you got some problems there. But it's the exact same thing, right? It's if you say, hey, look, here's a Jew who did this stuff. They'll say, you see, Jews evil. They'll suddenly realize this is bad. And then they'll say, okay, what are the implications? And then they'll just apply it to all Jews and so on. But it's weird. They'll understand there's something wrong here. And they say, okay, your prophet had sex with a 9-year-old girl. And Sneako went they won't have a problem with him, lying a little bit and so on. But if he were serious and actually saying that to Muslims, to say, hey, we can't trust these 200 plus hadiths on the age of Aisha, they would have a serious problem with that. They would have a serious problem. Yeah.
There's a lot of people on X being like, oh, so you're a hadith denier and they're Muslims. And they don't like that. And it's funny, I get told all the time, why don't you ever just go debate scholars? First off, I have had discussions with them, not always debates. I sometimes like it better. And you know why? Because they're not trying to play, extreme apologetics. A lot of them are just like, yeah, it does say that, so what? And I'm like, okay, fair enough. We have a different morality. It's actually more annoying to debate these Sneako, not real Muslims, but wannabe Muslim kind of people, because in reality, all it is them trying to be like, well, I read this one Reddit answer and I'm just going to vomit it out as an answer. A lot of the times the scholars are like, yeah, it does say that. Like, all right, thanks you for admitting it.
Yeah. And it's such like a clear example of like the complete hypocrisy. They understand this guy, and it could be anyone, if they found out Donald Trump had sex with a 9-year-old girl, or any leader in Europe, or any leader in the entire world had sex with a 9-year-old girl, they would, you see this, look what this evil person did. You see, this is why everyone connected to this person is evil. It's like your prophet, the source of all your revelations that you believe in, that guide your life. That guy also claims that he got a revelation from God saying that he needs to take that girl as his wife. And that same guy received a revelation, which looked like you were starting to quote at the end there when he rage quit, Surah 65, verse 4, that a prepubescent girl, after one husband divorces her, has to wait 3 months before the next guy can divorce her. It's not, what are you talking about? She needs to Like grow first and then get married again. No, 3 months, 3 months, no problem. But you can point it out to them over and over. They just don't care. They don't seem to care. They don't. It's like for everyone else, like hypocrisy is an issue. Everyone, people around the world got some level of hypocrisy. That's normal and so on. But it's like you can point it out to them and they just don't care. They don't care even slightly. It's wild. It's like it's understood hypocrisy is fine as long as it's us. And it's been like that. It's been like that since the beginning of Islam. They would complain. The polytheists won't let us take the pilgrimage to Mecca. Oh my goodness, the polytheists, they're being so intolerant towards our religion. They won't let us take the pilgrimage. As soon as Muhammad takes over, it's okay. No one gets to take the pilgrimage to Mecca anymore except us. Like, wait, I thought that was bad. Well, it's not. It's bad. Right. It's bad if they do it. It's not bad if we do it. And it's like that with everything, including sex with little girls.
Yeah, one of my favorite revelations that Muhammad got was when the people in Yathrib were having problems with the Muslims, essentially, the early Muslims essentially not carrying their own weight, and they were, being fed, and they're just like, hey, you need to help out with the chores. And then magically, Allah's timing with the revelations to Muhammad is it's incredible. The timing. All of a sudden he gets this revelation that says, these people serve as a threat to you. They've attacked you in the past. You're allowed to, attack them and take all their stuff. And so then now the early Muslims, of course, Muhammad didn't get a revelation to just teach the early Muslims how to farm and just chip in. They got the revelation to just attack other people and just take their stuff. And so that way they could, have supplies. I love it.
This actually proves that Islam is true. It actually shows that Islam is miraculous and wonderful because you can see how Muhammad is given a very, very good opportunity to get out of a situation, and how Allah comes in as a problem solver. It's like the whole Deus ex machina thing, where Allah comes in, Allah ex machina. Allah comes in and he jumps into the situation. He solves all the problems, and this, of course, leads to Islam spreading. And with all of this, you can see how people are accepting Islam all over the place because it is so beautiful. And this just shows that Islam is true.
Good, powerful point. Yo, I'm checking out Sneako's YouTube channel here.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna leave. You have fun.
Yeah, good. Get out of here. I'm over on.
Good to talk. See ya.
Yeah, so Sneako's not allowed on YouTube. He was banned from YouTube, but he's got a YouTube account.
Posted.
Huh?
Yeah, he posted the full debate on YouTube, and I don't know if you saw this. You can see it. It's Sneako with an
that's
H.
What I mean. Yeah, so he changes it, and it probably has you'd have to run it through another email account or something like that and hope. And
his own followers are trashing him in it because he posted it first because I got off and then I was doing some other stuff. It was 3 a.m. So he posted the full debate first. Ironically, as you saw, he said, don't edit this. Make sure you post the full thing. So he posted it. He does a 13-minute intro, just under 13 minutes of him taking just a part where he still looks awful, but he maybe doesn't look as bad because he was just crashing on and screaming over me the whole time. He takes that 12 to 13 minutes, puts it at the front, and his own comment section, he has more comments than he does likes on that video. His most comment section is like, dude, I've been following you for years, but what is this 12, 13-minute intro? And people are just like, yeah, you're coping because you lost the debate. So you're trying to take, I guess, what you consider to be the best part of the debate for you and just kind of plug it into the front. Yeah, it's very funny. It's total cope. It's really hilarious.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments right now. So he's got a pinned comment, which is just said it's $1.99 super thanks, and it just says thanks. And so he pinned that, but he pinned that because after that, it's next top comment is someone in Sneako's chat said, "Why do you debate when you don't know something, bruh?" His own chat was cooking him. Next one, Sneako's cortisol spiked hard. Bro, that was a total massacre. You got buried alive there, Sneako. You got cooked. And it just goes on and on. You got defecated on. Sneako getting cooked by his own fans. It's amazing how Sneako grows dumber by the day. Sneako lost by far. It just keeps going on. I don't even see anyone. That's the guy that cooks Sneako. Sorry, but Sneako lost this battle big time. Sneako is for sure getting paid to push all this. There is no way someone can say all this without understanding anything, just talking. You embarrassed yourself. You're a liar as well. It's I don't see a positive comment. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's really bad. When
The
it's your-
most
when it's your
positive
channel.
comment he got was I think somebody said his fiance is Israeli, by the way. And first off, my wife, and second off, yeah. See, you beat them in debates. They're never gonna tell you won. They're too proud, whatever, too dumb. I don't know. But what they will do is they won't say why your arguments are wrong. They'll just say stuff like, "Oh, his wife is Israeli. My wife is American and Israeli, but I've also been talking about this before I even knew who my wife was." But even if hypothetically I knew who my now wife was before, and let's say that connection drew me to Israel, let's just say hypothetically, so what? Make your case. Tell me why I'm wrong. Well, you think my argument, but this is why I made the joke where I'm like, yeah, I'm getting paid $20,000. You know why I don't try to argue against that? Obviously, I'm not getting paid $7,000 or post or $20,000 or anything.
I do the same thing. I just agree. Yeah, I just agree.
Yeah, just agree. Right. You know why? Because it exposes them in two ways. One, because then they think you're not serious. And it's like, wait a minute, so you don't even believe what you're saying. But the second thing is, are my arguments better if I got paid $1 million to make the argument? My argument's still the same. If it's a bad argument, then tell me why it's a bad argument. Me getting paid doesn't make the argument worse or better.
Yeah, it's just a variety of fallacies, and that I've noticed in Islam, what the goal is always. It's always to discredit the person rather than actually refute the argument. It's you shouldn't trust you shouldn't trust this argument because this guy has a problem for this or that. And it's like, what the argument stands or falls on its own merits. So guess what? You could say say this is the worst person in the world. Okay, now let's just get this super nice guy over here who has impeccable character in every way, and he can run the exact same argument. Now, could you guys answer it?
You're actually gonna love this. My wife actually came up with this. Over time of debating Muslims, I realized there's three main arguments they always have. My wife calls it caw, like a bird's caw, CAW, and what it stands for is they will either say you don't understand the context. That will be their go-to argument. Context. They will say, oh, it's different in Arabic. That's the A, Arabic, right? Oh, in Arabic it doesn't say that. And then W is whataboutism. They will say, if they don't have an argument, they can't do context or Arabic, they'll say, well, what about in Christianity, it blah, 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 or what about in Judaism, it blah, blah, blah. That's the three things. So what
about King so-and-so who married an 11-year-old?
Every time in my chat, when a Muslim does that, which is inevitable, it'll happen, my entire chat just types caw. And then they will always be like, what's caw? Why are they doing that? And I'm like, I don't know.
And what's crazy is they've been so thoroughly trained to use what you just said. Is they'll say it when it's complete nonsense. In other words, when I quote Surah 9 verse 29, fight those who do not believe in Allah. They'll go, oh, but context. Okay, let's read the entire context. There is not one word in the context that helps you. Context makes it worse when you actually look, and you can mean, the context as far as the verses that come before it and after it, none of that helps. It makes it worse. Or you can mean the historical context, which also makes it worse. But they've just been trained to say context. And that's the answer whenever anyone quotes a Quran verse. And if that doesn't work, well, in Arabic, yep, and they just run like that. And but they'll say that even if Arabic doesn't help them at all. It's just like they've got all these It's like they took a bunch of kids and raised them. Okay, when anyone criticizes anything that we're telling you, do one of these three things that you pointed out.
Right.
Yep. Anyway, I don't know how busy you are, but we've been on a couple hours. We're just going to go through the super chats. I don't know if you want to stick around because they are some of them.
Stick around for a little bit. I usually go live around 8 p.m., but sometimes I'm a little late. I get 8 to 8:30 p.m. It's only 7:50 p.m., so I got a little bit of time.
Okay, we'll go through a couple, and then you tell us whenever you want to cut out. And we got Issa here. How you doing, Issa?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
It's funny. AP and I actually did a debate on Israel versus Hamas, and we debated Junior and this guy named Julian. So it's interesting. A lot of the points you say, I think, are really on point. And
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Issa, he's a Sufi Muslim, but he gets along way better with everyone and has a sense of humor better than a lot of like the Salafi guys and so on. So anyway, he jumps in with us. Yep.
And Jewish too. It's funny. I have the hybrid situation.
He's a Sufi Muslim Jewish hybrid.
Man, pick a struggle, bro.
Yeah.
It's actually hard. Like,
he's trying to have all the struggles.
I was actually just in Israel recently. I went on the birthright trip, the volunteer birthright trip. I'm glad I didn't bring that up with Junior. It would probably went off pretty bad. But I went there and volunteered and helped a lot of folks there. So it was really good. I do a lot of service immersion stuff. So there's a lot of struggles over there. And I think there's a lot of poverty. People think that Israel's just this very wealthy country, and it's not. And there's a lot of struggles there. And, people need support. So definitely shouting out to give donations to help support the folks there,
Hey, Issa, as long as you can verify, I don't like plugging people's organizations and stuff like that and saying contribute to that because you don't know. You don't know if like all the money goes somewhere or some of them like 20% of the money actually goes to that and everyone, the rest all goes to, the people running the thing and stuff like that. But if you can actually verify it, you ever want to promote it, then you can jump on, man. We can do that. All right, let's take a couple super chats here. Reminder that Penguin Zero lost a debate to this guy. Who? You or Sneako? If it wasn't you, then it would have to be Sneako because that comment was from earlier.
Honestly, when it's something like Penguin Zero, like I could have, but is that a real username? Like I don't even know.
No, it's a big channel. That's a big channel. So I'm guessing Sneako.
Is it? Okay, well now I'm embarrassed for not knowing it. No, it wasn't me then.
I love how Ben Shapiro became the unofficial spokesperson of everything Jewish to these people. Yeah. Prove this. Well, Ben Shapiro said it. That's it. Case closed. Can you explain what Zionism means? Thanks and bless you. I would say it can mean multiple things. And it sounded, Nick, like you're thinking along. So you have like religious Zionism, and you can have Jewish Zionism. Then you have Christian Zionism, but that's a theological Zionism. And then you can have. I mentioned that. Kind of what you were saying is similar to my view. It's like I'm a Christian, but that's not why I support Israel's right to exist and defend itself and so on. I'm thinking just in terms of like human rights, and I would say the same thing about the nation of Israel that I would say about most other nations. And so I pointed out like I'm a Christian, but I'm a Zionist in the same sense that Sam Harris is a Zionist. But how would you answer this here?
Yeah, I mean, like one, I'm a Noahide. I believe in the 7 laws of Noah, but there is a separation. Okay, so there's the 7 laws of Noah, and that includes the Torah, the Tanakh. I believe in that, and so this idea of religious Zionism really actually dates back. I mean, arguably to the Babylonian exile, right? That thought of the Jewish people returning, and then people try to attribute political Zionism or modern Zionism with Theodor Herzl. I mean, of course, there's a connection. No one denies that. But really, it actually dates back before Theodor Herzl. The first major Aliyah was even almost a generation before the Zionist Congress and Theodor Herzl's Jewish state. And there was stuff even before that, even going back a couple hundred years. But to answer the question directly, Zionism to me, of course, if you want to talk about religion, I can bring it up, but I can make the argument for Israel just the same without religion. And my thought is I want Israel to be treated like any other country. And in reality, that usually means, especially for the average American, just not caring about it, like not really caring in a positive or negative direction. Zionism to me is just a thought that, do I support the Jewish people self-determining in their indigenous homeland, ancestral homeland? I do. What does that mean? I tell people all the time, they try to attribute Zionism to Bibi Netanyahu, Ben Gvir, or whatever. That's not true, and I can prove it. If Zionism meant one thing, then can someone explain to me why you have left-wing Zionists, right-wing Zionists, why you have religious Zionists, why you have one-state solution Zionists, two-state solution people that are still Zionists? They're all Zionists, but they have different beliefs. So you can't say Zionism is some blanket statement unless it's vague like what I just gave. Honestly, I think the term Zionism is kind of ridiculous. Zionism's complete, in my opinion. Like it's done. The state exists. But if you're saying colloquially, does Zionism mean the support of the state of Israel today? Okay, sure. But honestly, when you go to Israel, they don't generally use that word. They don't go around being like, I'm a Zionist. It's just, there was actually, real quick to finish this up, there was a 1968 interview by Ben Gurion that was actually found. It was lost and they found it. I watched that interview. They asked him that question, are you a Zionist? And he's just kind of like, what's a Zionist? What do you mean? Like, yeah, I get it, what a Zionist is, but it's complete. It's more about now growing and thriving.
Wait, we have David is mad because he can't have me. Clock it. That says the account is real. Dihya al-Kalbi. Don't know if you ever encountered Muhammad's companion Dihya al-Kalbi in the sources, but yeah, Dihya was apparently so attractive. They said that when he would show up to a town, all the ladies of the town would run out to see how handsome this guy was. But Muhammad kept having all these little private meetings behind a curtain with Dihya al-Kalbi. And then when people started seeing, it was like, hey, what's going on behind the curtain and stuff? And he would say, oh, no, that's the angel Gabriel. He just looks exactly like Dihya al-Kalbi. Like,
I did not know that. That's insane.
It's pretty wild. It's like, and it's funny because, you know, I could just read the sources to a Muslim, be like, okay, so Muhammad goes up to his wives and they're like, who was that? And they go, Dihya al-Kalbi. No, it was the angel Gabriel. And they go, oh, okay, it was the angel Gabriel. And I'm just like, okay, so like, guys, if you seriously take this, seriously, like suppose you just show up home early one day and you see a guy jump out of your window and stuff. He jumps out of the bedroom window and takes off running, and you go to your wife and you're like, who was that? And she's like, oh, it was an angel. Like, anyone gonna fall for that?
Have you ever read the that hadith where there's a guy who kind of pokes the prophet?
Oh, yeah. Pokes him on his side.
Yeah. And then he kisses him and says, "This is what I wanted."
This is what I wanted.
I love reading that one.
That's a good one. Learn from Hotel Man 1. Lie discredits non-Muslim. Hotel Man 1. Guessing that's Muhammad Hijab there. Let's see. Sneako fits perfectly with the Dawa boys because the qualification is an IQ no higher than room temperature. Alhamdulillah. So according to Sneako, Jews have been the #1 victims of genocide. How Zionist of him. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, given his definition of genocide, Jews have been the biggest victims of genocide.
Good point. I didn't think about that, actually.
No, I didn't think about it either. Tate and Sneako never cared about Islam. It is only the outer clothing they wear to reflect their inner ego. That sounds about right. They both jumped on just at a time when it was kind of popular. And if you were getting attacked, you kind of had a band of super loyal fans just waiting. All you had to say is, hey, I converted to Islam now. And then everyone, oh, wow, so great. And you just had undyingly loyal fans.
I'll actually, before I hop off, I'll say this. I haven't told anyone this because it's kind of new information, but I guess you'll be the first to hear it and your watchers. Sean Kelly actually saw my debate and he's like, hey, I saw it. I was really impressed. I'd like to, get you on the show in Vegas. I can set you up with the debate versus Kenny Ko or Jake Shields. And I'm like, okay, so both of them are, I don't know Kenny Ko as much, but I've seen enough. They're both dumb. So I was like, can I just do a 2v1? I thought he'd say no because, he might have been like, well, and he was like, that sounds like a great idea. And I'm like, perfect. I still think it would be unfair, but I'll do a 2v1. And I just found out this morning, Jake Shields said no. I'm like, oh, what a bitch.
Yeah, he's a
so
coward.
Now they're going to, yeah, he's a big coward. And here's my thing. If you're going to sit here and be extremely hateful, you're not even talking about just Israelis, just Jews. Whatever, dude, you're an American, say your free speech. I don't care. But then be a man and stand up for your beliefs. But they're going to try to, I'm still want to do a 2v1. So Kenny Ko's trying to get maybe Dan Blazarian or Bilzarian or whatever his name is. Didn't know if I wanted to debate with him because of his recent clip with Sneako talking about how he just wants to massacre Israelis, just take a gun and massacre them.
All the better reason to humiliate him in front of everybody, because that's another guy that wouldn't be much different from your debate with Sneako.
Probably not. I've never seen any of them debate, but like I said, I've seen enough that I would do it right now if they were in front of me.
Yeah, it's weird. Like if someone doesn't want to debate, I don't have a problem. Some people, not everyone is interested in debate and stuff like that. What I have a problem with is the guys who will challenge people to debate, but it's just because they think other people aren't going to do it, and then as soon as they agree, then they come up with an excuse and back down. Like Jake Shields was doing that. He's like, I will debate anybody on this, and AP's like, okay, I'll debate you. And I was like, I'll debate you. And he's like, no, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna bring Nick Fuentes with me. I'm like, deal. 2-on-2. You and Nick versus us. And then
Jake Shields just challenged Jake Shields just challenged a good friend of mine. His name's Moderate Case. You guys have definitely seen him, if not already know him. He's great. He challenged him on X, and that's my thing. You nailed it. They challenge and then maybe come up with excuses, but then when they get challenged, they go, no, I don't want to. It's like, all right, dude. Okay, I'm gonna hop off because I'm gonna get ready for my live. Hey, I really appreciate you letting me up, and I love your guys' show. I've been watching you guys for years, and thank you all so much.
All right, man. Cool. Catch you later.
Pleasure.
Catch you later.
Pleasure to meet you. Shalom.
And now the only reason I'm not reading these super chats by myself is because Issa came to keep me company.
I'm always here to keep you company, brother.
Let's see. What is the technique where you deflect and call the opponent's rebuttal a deflection to go back to your original deflection? Sort of Chewbacca defense. Yeah, that's what Sneako is doing. Funny
Do you mind to make a quick comment on what?
Make all the comments you want, as long as they take under 5 seconds. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. Quickly put, it was just interesting that there's a lot of excuses made, and they say, well, this thing happened, there's genocide that happened, but there's no accountability of any other countries. That's the biggest issue that I see. I'm like, do we want to talk about Syria? Do we want to talk about Pakistan? Do you want to talk about Bangladesh? Do you want to talk about any of these other countries that have massive human rights violations that you see with like Amnesty International? It's all verified. Why is there just, like in those Westerns where the tumbleweed flows by, like rolls by? That's literally the response. I'm like,
Yep.
I agree totally with the guest. What was his name again? I'm so sorry. Nick. Yeah, I totally agree with Nick's position. Nick is 100% right that there is no accountability given. It's just like, oh, I think that Israel doesn't have a right to exist because this thing occurred. Pakistan, there's a reason why Bangladesh exists and nobody wants to talk about it. It's because West Pakistan invaded East Pakistan and killed a lot of people. And SA sexually assaulted. They did horrible, human atrocities against humanity. No one wants to talk about it, and we pretend that it's not there. Should Pakistan not exist because of what they did? You can't really say anything about it. Pakistan does exist. So even if we grant that argument, it's an invalid position. You know what I mean? We don't hold that standard for any country.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, it's very similar circumstances. As far as the formation, it's Great Britain saying, okay, we're getting out of here. We've got a bunch of Hindus and a bunch of Muslims. And if we put all the Muslims under Hindu control, that could be a bloodbath. And if we put the Hindus under Muslim control, that could be a bloodbath. Why don't we divide it up? Why don't we divide it up here and try to, so... Okay, if you're on the Muslim side, okay, you've got your place. And if you're on the Hindu side, and that way everyone has a place where they can be safe. Very similar to the reasoning with Israel and the Arabs. It's okay, we can't have all these people under like Arab control. They're gonna go on a killing spree here. So let's divide it up a little. But yeah, you'd have to say, I mean, Pakistan is occupied India. Free that part of India from Pakistani occupation and so on. And it's like, okay, whatever you think about why these things were divided up at some point in the past and whether it was legitimate or illegitimate, well, there's a nation there now. There's a nation there. And they didn't make those decisions and so on. But there's people there. So we kind of have to do the best we can with what we've got and where we're at. That's just life. I'm putting Yeshua's King said, what's his channel's name? Yeah, I have the link to that debate is on his channel. So if you click, anyone who wants a link to Nick's channel on YouTube. Now, I know he's on like TikTok and stuff. I don't know about that. But oh no, I'm guessing if you go to his YouTube channel, it's going to have the link to his TikTok and so on. So yeah. Anyway, you've got the link to the debate that's on his YouTube channel, and I'm sure you can get the rest of his information from there. Maybe I'll add it if I remember afterwards. Let's see here. How long before Dawa bros start asking Sneako to stop debating people? Sahih al-Bukhari is now not reliable. I know. It's just, I mean, I could take, I don't want to be mean, but I kind of want to be mean. You know what I mean? Because I could really be, hey, this your guy? This your guy now? This is different from right after he converted. No matter what he did, you guys would say, oh, but he's a new Muslim. Okay, he's been doing dawah now for years. He's been doing dawah now for years. And he's throwing Bukhari and Aisha and everyone else under the bus. Like, anyway. Sahih al-Bukhari is now not reliable. Yep, pretty crazy. Told my dog he's haram and Muslims don't like him. Wait, told my dog he's haram and Muslims don't like him. Now he's got Crusader armor and is barking about Constantinople and Jerusalem. That's what happens. Start attacking the dogs. Hang on. Sahih al-Bukhari. Everyone needs to debate Sneako. Easy win on Islam. I still want to see a 2-on-2. Sneako and Junior versus me and Issa or anyone else. Genesis 12 verse 2 in Hebrew it says goy. In this case is a nation. Mm-hmm. Sneako and Junior are now the best Muslim apologists. Looks like Jake better update his tier listing. Yeah, he needs to do that with Sneako and Junior up top. I was kidding. Keep tearing apart Islam. Oh yeah, we will. Yeah, I saw your comment earlier, Thanos. We need to make NJAS go viral counter goy. You know what that means?
A counter goy? I don't like a goy is like a person from a nation. Like people think this word goy is a bad word. It's not a bad word. Like Jewish people are goyim too. They're people of nations. So it's like it's a strange thing that people keep using these words and thinking they mean something else. You know.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Details are not required. Just lie. Yep, that's Islam style. Matau and AP and IP and D-Wood and God Logic equal best team against Islam. His shirt should state the one true Zudding. Sneako shirt. Would love to see Matau do X Spaces challenging Islam. Yeah, it seems really smart and really quick with information that he's learned. Someone should AI photo Momo in IDF shirt. Yeah, that would be good if they're saying that's the proof. I work for many athletic departments based on my shirts. Yeah. Got the shirt. If you got the shirt. Yeah. Epstein emails show he tried short Israel's economy. Epstein emails show he tried short Israel's economy. Oh, you mean like in the stock sense? Oh, snap, this is me. that's the one from Nick earlier. I read that earlier. Let's see. How dare you deny the genocide of buildings in Gaza? Yep, it's domicide. Finally, a third party to join makes the show more interesting. Yeah. But now we're back to 2. Wait, I live in Australia. We are an island. Does that mean I live Elstein Island? Lol. Well, it's just not as bad. It is obvious that Sneaky is upset about Epstein Island because he and his Dawa PDF wasn't invited. Yep. In Trump's voice, so based. Some might call him the most based. I walked in and I said, wow, this guy is based. He's the most based. Hey, Issa, read this real quick. I have to send a message real quick.
Oh, this is from Idaro Gozen 509. Oh, I love Nick. I follow Nick since just about after 7th of October. You do the best. Hasbara. Thank you so much. Love from Israel.
You got a comment, man. I'm going to finish my message.
Sure. So yeah, that I think it's interesting because this word hasbara, people think it's a bad word. It's like people just keep using these words and they think they're bad words and they don't mean that. It's like education, it's like teaching, and people will use that word like is Jews and Israelis are trying to like indoctrinate people, and that's just not the case. I just wish we gave the same kind of understanding towards Jewish people as we do towards any other group of people. And it's just we there in a lot of these like very anti-Jewish spaces, we treat Jewish people in a very different way than we treat anyone else. And I think that that's just dishonest and grotesque, and that bothers me a lot.
Sneako is such a coward. Yep, total coward. I love how, yeah. Matter of fact, when we did the when we showed up at Times Square, when they were all there lined up and flexing and stuff, Sneako was there, and we hung out afterwards. Sneako did not come near us. But then the next day he's out there. Look, here's videos of me doing street dawah in Times Square. Dude, you had me and Hatun Tosh and Anthony Rogers and Drake right there, waiting for discussion. And you bolted. I love how Sneako's brain malfunctioned when you agreed with him. I'm assuming that was for Nick earlier. I'm a pastor that was invited to speak about the Bible at an iftar dinner. Thanks for preparing me all these years. Oh, awesome. That's a pretty cool invitation. Would you review Judeo-Arabic scholar Dr. Michael Wexler, The Undermining of the Jewish Presence in the Land, 10 minutes, a polemic against Islam? Dr. Michael. I don't know based on this super chat, but I'll take a look at it and then see. Funny how dumb Sneako is. The U.S. and Israel were cold to each other until the early 60s, as Israel was very friendly with the French and British, relying on them for arms, and U.S. relations warmed because Egypt and Syria were seeking ties with the USSR. Yep. U.S. was not big fans for a little while. Nick, do you believe the God of the Bible? Thanks. Oh, Nick's gone. That sucks. I should have, while he was still here and he said he only had about 10 minutes, I should have just looked for comments asking him specifically questions. Primo David, who is this Goy's Gringo? AP is now my primo too. I'm an ethnic Jew. I believe in God, but not organized religion. I don't follow the mitzvot, only living an ethical life and a personal relationship with God. I never liked the I don't follow organized religion. Never liked that, because the first time I started hearing that, it was all celebrities. It was all Hollywood celebrities, and it was and I saw it in like I remember the first two people I saw. They were both on. There was each on some talk show, and it was like early 2000s or something. But one was Jennifer Aniston. And she's on like Oprah or something like that. And Oprah's like, so tell us what are your beliefs and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, she's an actress. Who cares, right? Who cares? You're not a philosopher, you're not a theologian. I guess if you just, I'm not trying to be elitist here. I'm just thinking, why you pretend to be other people for a living. I guess if you're just interested, because people are interested in people's lives and so on, but that's not how it comes across. It always comes across as now I'm here to educate all of you on what you should think. And I'm an expert because I'm an actress, right? Like at all the awards shows and stuff like that, it's like, okay, if you're interested in this celebrity's life and so on, I understand why you'd say, oh, what do you believe about this? What do you think about this? What's your favorite team? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite ice cream? I understand wanting to know that stuff, but that's not how they do it. It's, I'm an actor and I'm famous, therefore you should listen to me. It's like, you could be an actor and be really smart in these areas, and therefore I would take you seriously. But just the fact that you're famous tells me absolutely nothing about whether I should take anything you're saying seriously. You pretend to be other people for a living. Okay, you have that skill. That does not tell me you're great at getting to the truth or anything else. But anyway, Jennifer Ann, it's funny, I remember it because my wife's response, right? Jennifer Aniston goes, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious because I think organized religion divides people. And as soon as she said that, my wife goes, so do walls. We need to ban walls. I'm against walls. And she says, why? Because walls divide people, right? So are you against things that divide people? Anyway, so it was her, and then it was Macaulay Culkin, and I saw it, and I remembered him because he said like the exact same thing and almost the exact same words on a different talk show. He goes, well, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious because organized religion. I'm like, did you guys all just like get a script and now you're going out there and you're all programmed to tell everyone that? Anyway, so yeah, whenever I say that, I don't follow organized religion, I always remember those guys. So what, y'all got Nick here? Fire. Been watching him cook these Abduls for a minute. God bless you, bro. Yes, there are different worlds here, guys, because I had no clue who Nick was. Why? Because he's popular on TikTok, and I've only been on TikTok a couple of times, and it's just to download some video that someone wanted me to see or that we're going to use in a live stream or something like that. But apart from that, yeah, it can be a different world. There can be people who are extremely popular over there, and we have, some of us over here on YouTube have no clue if we're not over there. Nick, Noah hides are based. I was making a joke about how new Issa as OG appears. Be kind to the new guy, Issa. Yeah, be nice, Issa. Issa in the house, not in the Zoot sense. God bless you, Issa. Help me understand how Islam becomes what it is post-Christ to 600 AD. Was there literally nothing established to prevent it? Well, not in 7th century Arabia. It's a pretty polytheistic area, although you did have some Jewish tribes down there. You had, Christians of various sorts, and some of them heretical because which emperor was it? Julian? Roman emperor expelled heretics from the Roman Empire, I think in the 5th or 6th century or something like that. But a bunch of them moved to Arabia, and that's why you get a lot of the interesting claims about Christianity and the Muslim sources. But no, what happens is at the time, you had the Byzantines, and they're at war with the Persians, and they're fighting with each other, and they're weakening each other. And so this new thing that springs up in Arabia, well, they were fresh. And everyone else around them had been worn down from many, many years of war, and it allowed them to go out and start expanding. Have you heard of Big John Steele? He debated Junior recently on Modern Day Debates. Oh yeah, we've had Big John Steele on with us before. What do we? Oh yeah, we had him on because Malik called into his show one time. Good old Malik, and lied a bunch, and then yep, we had Big John Steele on. Issa Moggs, by the way, Issa, where'd you get your glasses? Weird question.
We got it at the store, some glasses store. It's cool. I did
get store. Like that's where.
Huh? I got it like 70s style frames, so it's kind of cool. They, I think they were from Vision Works, one of those places.
Based. Nick Matau is the best. He absolutely cooks, Sneako. Nick, we're all so proud of you. Yeah.
But one weird thing? He's so right. They literally say the same stuff. Nick is right. They just keep repeating the same arguments. They're like, whataboutisms and, look at this horrible element of death and that makes this position right. And I'm like, it's so bizarre. I'm like, do you not know about any other conflict? Like, do you just know about conflicts when it happens to be about people that you don't like? But when the same narrative exists with other countries that you seem to have affinity for, you're just like, oh, my ethics, they went out the window.
AP left Issa shows. Suspicious, yeah. Huh, that is interesting. It's like Clark Kent walking out and then Superman suddenly shows up. You know what I mean? Huh. Isn't the Hagia Sophia undisputedly originally Christian? Yeah, they built it. So shouldn't that be given back to us Christians? Yeah. Double standards? Absolutely. And Sneako just posted a picture of himself in Hagia Sophia. He doesn't spot the hypocrisy. But Issa would be the same kind of thing. Okay, here's where we are now. Do you have a problem with it? No. Well, you guys got that by conquering it. But like half his argument is like, well, the Jews that just came in there and they conquered stuff.
I actually have had these debates where I'm like, they're like, well, the Palestinians own the land. It's their land, so they should be given back the land. And I'm like, well, how do people gain land? I said, you do realize this nation state element is very new. Mostly we had Age of Empires, so people did conquest. They went and fought and killed each other and took over the land. That's just what happened historically. Whatever the people said their religion was, they all just did that. So it's very strange when people are like, oh, they had nation states back then and they had their own indigenous land. I'm like, that just didn't exist. You just don't know history, and it's tragic. It's a tragic narrative.
In India, it's taught in school that British caused the hostility between Hindus and Muslims as part of their divide and rule tax. Are you kidding me? Muslims went down there and conquered, and they kept fighting for a long time. And then the British came in, and the British took over, and they were more powerful. And then the British stayed for a while, and then they got out. And then you see, it was the British who caused the division. Come on. How can I send you an email? Can't send info via Super Chat. YouTube keeps flagging it. You can go onto my homepage, and my email address is there. What is more Epstein Island like, Australian or Britanistan? I don't know as much about Australia, but my money would be on Britanistan. I meant najis to counter goy. Oh, you mean as far as like, wait, you mean the Arabic word? Najis, like filthy? Nick said, yeah, so Surah 9, verse 28 said the polytheists are najis, means something disgusting or filthy. It usually gets translated as like unclean. If that's what you meant, I don't know that that's what you meant. And polytheist originally meant like, the people who believe in all these different gods, but just 2 verses later, then it accuses Jews and Christians of also being polytheists because... So it's Surah 9, verse 30, and that's where it says that Jews call Ezra the son of Allah and Christians call Jesus the son of Allah. Nick said he believes in God, but organized religion. No, believes in God, but not organized religion. And one more. Let's see. Did you see the video on the Enemies Project? Most powerful change of mind I saw in a Muslim apart from your work, starring Imtiaz. I did not. I will take a look at that, though. And let's see. His argument was worse. He thinks they bought the land. Well, he thinks they bought something. He thinks they bought a bunch of it. And it's like, why? I mean, okay. Muslims conquered a lot of places. You have a problem with it? No. Okay. But what about Jews buying land? Oh my goodness, they're the most evil people ever. This is why we have to destroy Israel. Oh gosh, guys, you guys. It seems demonic, guys. It seems demonic. It's rough to believe that people can be this stupid without something demonic going on. All right, guys. Gonna head out now. Any final words for everyone there, Issa?
I think people need to do better at arguments. I'm really honored and glad that I got to debate as partners. That's funny that I debated with you and then became partners with both you and AP. And I think it's a very interesting kind of turn of events, but I think it's very important the kind of work that's done, that we seek accountability, and we, like you said, it's important to focus on moving from the present into the future and promoting life and supporting the best quality of life for all peoples. When talking about Palestinian Israelis, people who are really honest and caring, they care about both Israelis and Palestinians having quality and dignity of life and peace. That's what we should care about. Whatever the best route is for that, that's the route that we want. This idea of like wanting conflict and endless war, that's insane. And some people want that. They just want endless war. They want endless conflict. And they said, well, if I don't get land, I'll have endless conflict. I mean, it's an insane proposition. And I think we need to promote a better narrative of promoting peace and a better quality of life for all humans and, you know, other entities of life, and promoting the kind of position of freedom, you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you know, the American values. I would hope that all people can have that. And that's kind of what I pray and wish for. And I hope people will get out of this really toxic mindset of just hating a group of people because you just don't know who they are, and because you have fear and you have, you know, I don't know if I want to call it brainwashing, but having, like, you know, just crazy kinds of mindsets. I just hope folks can kind of evolve out of these problematic worldviews and kind of go into the present and hopefully the future where we can have dignity for life.
Yeah, he was talking about you, Sneako. Do better, man. Do better. Last one. Israel is fighting Iran to destroy the Al-Aqsa. I keep seeing that online. Guys, Israel can take Al-Aqsa anytime they want. They haven't. All right. Catch y'all later. Tomorrow, I think 6 p.m., I'm going to be on live with Apostate of Allah. That's Sarah. And she's going to talk about some stuff from her experience as a Muslim during Ramadan. And after that, going to be on Hatun's channel with Anthony Rogers, responding to some of Muhammad Hijab's critiques of the Bible. So be back tomorrow. Catch y'all later.